Schmack-a-magab, everybody. It is another thrilling episode of the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast. And with me is, where is he down here?
Oh, yeah, I'm over here. It's Wadzilla, baby, the Ayatollah of Alcohola. And we got a special guest tonight because Ralph Lives Matter. We got Count Ralphus here with us, man. Fucking A right, man. Awesome. Awesome.
Two Ralphs always make a fucking A right.
Hell yeah.
I don't know about that, but fucking A, I'm glad you're here.
We're going to be talking about this later.
Nice. Is that the original or is that the remaster shit?
Original, right? Original press. I got Powers from Hell as well. Original press.
Right on. I got an original too right behind me.
Yeah. Right on. I got the shit up right off the internet, man. I love it.
What they re-released all that shit? Here's my Powers from Hell. You can kind of tell this is an original press.
You know what's cool is like yours is just like mine, Ralph. I have the red on there too. And I had 2 copies of this at one point, and a guy I knew who was really into collecting, he's like, "Oh, you got to trade me one of those copies." And I didn't know which one was like the original or which one. I mean, they both went back to the 80s, but one, I don't know how many were made of like that one compared to the regular white one. But I thought the one with the little bit of red looked like it more original, so I gave him the other one. And I still never like looked it up to make sure that I gave him the right one. But yeah, if you'll see a lot of people with that same album with no red in it. It'll just be all black and white.
Yeah,
maybe it says Power from Hell. Maybe it says Power from Hell in red, or that might just be the CDs that I see.
It's half red.
Yeah, it's like
half orangey white.
Yeah.
Believe me, I believe this is original because I got it back then.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's an original.
But sometimes you know how it is, like that very first run could be only 3,000 of them or something for a first band, and then it's like 4 months later they're re-releasing it, but now there's not as much money for it, so they take the red out, and it's happened quite a bit. But I'm pretty sure that's the original. You figure they put more into it by having the red color in there,
All right, but yeah, I did see there is remastered versions of the Force and Power from Hell. I don't think anything else, but those 2 in particular, they've got different versions, like Japanese versions, bonus tracks, and then they did some remasters in the early 2000s that brought some different tracks and shit. Yeah, right on. Like, I was surprised when the copy of the Force you showed me had the blue on it, and I don't know if that was like the American version or what, because there's a lot of different original covers that don't have the blue and shit. Like yours is black and white, right?
No,
mine's got blue in there, but it's hard to see. It's
all
like,
right.
But it's not like a bright blue.
Mine has the blue as well.
All right, right on. And it could be like the English press and all that shit, but fucking killer. Right on.
This is like Iron Maiden or Van Halen or Pantera. These 2 albums is a different band than what they became later. Starting with In Search of Sanity, it became more of a refined thing. Like Sabbath, it became more refined with Dio. And from here on out, that's how it's been. But there's just something so special to me about, because you got to remember, these albums came out at the perfect time. It's when all my heroes were going fucking turbo, and I was looking for something that stayed like metal, and I was getting into this and Exciter and Slayer and all that was taking the place of. I still loved Power Slave Down and Bark of the Moon Down. I still loved all the classic stuff, but when it got to those years, bands like Onslaught, like really, really just gripped me with all the other bands. There's a certain grittiness, organic, real, true, as true metal as you can get, man. You know, there's originality with a big influence from Venom and Slayer and stuff. You hear it all in that music. But we'll talk about that later. We're gonna do the news, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got plenty of news, man.
All right.
And the first thing, man, I didn't even see this on fucking Blabbermouth. I actually saw some shit on fucking Facebook, and I was like, oh god, is this some Facebook fucking clickbait? So I fucking looked the shit up on the internet, and turns out it's true. Very unfortunate. News about Ian Gillan. I don't know if you've heard this,
No.
but they're talking about possible. You know, he's talking about how soon it's going to be till he retires, and that he is almost blind. He only
Oh.
has 30% sight.
Oh.
And man, that just took the piss out of me because I had like a weird day today, man. I've listened to fucking Onslaught, Omen, Hallows Eve, Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, Deep Purple, Smithereens. You know, I've listened to all this like different shit. And I was listening to Deep Purple at the time, and I saw this shit come up. I'm like, no, man, don't let this be some fucking clickbait bullshit. But no, it's true. And but in true Ian Gillan form, he's like not crying, he's not bitching. He's like, it is what it is. You know, it makes playing live kind of hard, but I'll do it till I can't. But he's like, but that might be pretty soon.
Yeah.
But there,
Probably playing live, especially like he'd probably be able to record if he was still going blind. But at that point, he probably just wanted.
Right.
He's
there's
80
two,
years old.
there's two things disappointing about Ian. One, that he's going blind. That's terrible. Two, that Ian Wadley doesn't say he got AIDS or something, and that's why he's losing his vision.
No,
I'm very disappointed in you, Ian.
no. Ian Gillan's not a fag like fucking Ace Frehley. You
I
know.
don't have to be a fag to get AIDS. I'm not a fag and I got AIDS, but a couple Nuprin.
Yeah.
Remember Nuprin? I took a couple Nuprin and the AIDS went away.
Take some buffering. It'll dull the effects.
And I'm not gay. I got it from a syringe needle while I was doing heroin with Nikki Sixx in his closet while he was writing a book.
Right. You know, but nah, man, it did. It made me sad. You know, it's like fuck. It's like what now? I mean, we're already dealing. You know, with, Ace Frehley dies from a fall due to AIDS, and and now you got this shit with fucking Ian Gillan. And it's just like, oh,
You mean to tell me AIDS makes you lose your balance?
yeah, because you're all lightheaded and shit, because you get all skinny and shit, and
I learn something every day here.
yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to do is inform the people. But
Don't get AIDS or you'll fall.
yeah, hard to have good balance when you got AIDS, like Ace Frehley.
The timing with Coverdale announcing his retirement this week, that's kind of weird. And Blackmore basically said he can only play very close to his house and stuff, but he's done with like any big touring and stuff. He's 80 now, and he could be at the end too.
Oh yeah, because he's got like shit like I think like some blood clots and shit in his legs that have given him trouble, so he can only sit down and play shitty Renaissance music.
I seen him a little while back. He could still stand, but he did sit down a lot. But they were supposed to play, I think, yesterday or the day before, and they had to cancel. They didn't say what it was from, and then I think they were playing last night in Tarrytown, where I think Ralph is from.
I was born in Tarrytown.
Yeah, so they were playing there last night, but I don't know. I didn't. No, I seen him up at Bethel Woods, original Woodstock site, but they have like a small indoor room, and they have more intimate shows there, and that's where they played. It was like cold outside, so it wasn't like an outside thing,
Was he dressed like Will Ferrell and fucking Elf?
Doing they had the whole look, shit. But that had for years, but they were fucking awesome. I was blown away. I never got to see Richard Blackmore, so I just wanted to be able to say I seen him, but I was blown away.
I wish I can see Blackmore's Night. I see a lot of killer YouTube clips like them doing Child in Time and Temple
Yeah,
of the
they were just doing that. Yeah, you could find footage from this week, last week, where he was playing a bunch of like Black Knight and stuff like that. But he only bits of it, you know. But he gives you like the best riffs, and then he talks and jokes around. Then he goes into something else, and the crowd yells stuff out to him. If enough people yell a song, he'll actually just start playing it. You know,
I would
pretty cool.
love to see Richie Blackmore before he dies of AIDS.
Well, that's the thing. That's what pisses me off because you know he
AIDS,
should go blind, deaf, and dumb for playing that stupid fucking elf music. You know he's playing that Lord of the Rings fucking rock. You know, here Ian Gillan just put out like an amazing Deep Purple album, and he's losing his eyesight. There is no Jesus. You know, it's all bullshit.
Jesus,
Nothing fair.
Jesus gave Alan Gillan AIDS. That's what
Yeah,
I.
probably caught it from Ace Frehley.
I'm trying to pick up the slack of Ian. He's not being controversial self this week. I got to pick up the slack.
Oh, give it
He's
time. Give
punishing
it
him for
time.
never reuniting with Blackmore. He's punishing
Yeah.
him.
Blackmore would be able to stand on stage the whole show if he didn't have AIDS.
True, true. That's what he gets for letting Joe Lynn Turner and fucking Deep Purple. Fucking fag. All right.
That was a mistake, man. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Slaves and masters. Woo.
Fire in the basement, man. Fire in the basement. Let's see. What else? Saw some cool footage of Accept performing in Chicago on their new tour. And, you know, it's kind of cool because we're friends with, you know, a couple of guys that are in Accept right now. We've interviewed them multiple times. Ralph, did you ever get to see Accept with Mark Tornello?
Once in 2010, I saw him headline the Culture Room on the Blood of the Nations tour.
Oh, how was it?
Unbelievable. They're coming,
Nice.
and they're coming with Queensryche Banner now.
Right, yeah, that's the tour they're on right now, man. I'd like to go see him because I've never seen Accept. I've never seen Udo.
We're gonna see Accept Ian.
Well, I accept that. But I would love to hear those songs live, and I am a fan of Mark Tornillo. I think he's got a great voice. You know, he's no fucking Sammy Hagar. He didn't ruin the band. You know, he's keeping it going.
He's great.
And I love his shit with, you know, I love TT Quick, man. You know, I mean, the guy's got a great voice. Ralphus, have you ever seen Accept with Mark Tornillo?
Yeah, I seen him headline the Chance, and they were
Right
great.
on. What'd you think?
Oh, it was awesome. I got like some of the newer albums, but I got most of them like burned from friends that were into it. I wasn't like collecting it at the time, but they came there, and it's one of those things like when a good show comes there, I'd go, but I probably wouldn't have caught that tour if it was in Manhattan because of how much it would have cost. So because it was only 26 miles from my house, I went and we just had a great time. And I seen Udo headline there once too, and that night was kind of weird because it was like I think there was a lot of other shows that week up there or something, so there wasn't that many people. And Udo just kind of seemed pissed off, and he just seemed like he just wanted to get through the set and get out of there. But he sounded great.
Yeah, I think that night Udo had AIDS.
Well, no, that's why Udo's so pissed off because he tried to get AIDS, but you got to be this tall to ride the ride, if you know what I'm saying. And I think you do.
I saw the TT Quick reunion.
Oh, wow. How was that?
I went to a benefit show in New Jersey for the hurricane relief. I forgot what hurricane it was.
Was it Sandy? Hurricane Sandy?
I think it was Hurricane AIDS. And it was Raven, Twisted Sister, Anvil, The Rods, and headlining was TT Quick, a reunion of TT Quick.
Nice.
It was fucking awesome, man. So yeah, I got, TT Quick never came to Florida. So I did get to see them once.
I don't think TT Quick ever played outside of New Jersey.
They used to play L'Amour's in Brooklyn all the time. They were always
did
playing, they were playing the tri-state like crazy. But I never had seen them back then. But they definitely were always playing. They played the Chance, I'm sure, back then too.
But you've probably been to L'Amour's a bunch of times, right?
Yeah.
All right. Did you ever get laid in L'Amour's?
No, it was so dark in there, and it was
Did you do some coke? Did you do some coke in Lemore's?
no, I first started going when for my 17th birthday. My dad said, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I said, "I want to get driven down to a concert in Brooklyn." And he's like, "Okay, that's all you're getting." And he had family down. He has his relatives and stuff are all in Brooklyn. He grew up and he was born and raised in Brooklyn. So he dropped me and two of my other friends off, 17-year-olds at Lemore's. It was Testament and Slayer on the Rain and Blood tour, and it was
Oh,
Testament was on Legacy tour. It was like I had gotten the Testament album like a month before the show because I didn't know who they were, so I figured I had tickets, so I got the album, you know. But yeah, it was one of the most legendary shows I ever went to, and that was my first time was at Lemore's was a Slayer show, and my first time at the Chance was a Slayer show, both on the same tour.
well, that worked out perfect. Your dad dropped it because I heard like horror stories about if you'd go to Lemore's, like your car was going to get broken into or stolen.
Oh yeah,
So,
I know
but
so
he
many
just dropped
people.
you off. So, I mean, you got away
Yep.
scot free and got to see a legendary show. That's awesome.
Yeah, and we're such little kids going into this club that serves alcohol and everything. And I remember some of my friends were like trying to get older people to buy them Alabama Slammers we wanted to drink, you know, but we all ended up getting at least one drink in there that night. So that was cool.
Right. I heard it's a dangerous place. I heard Ace Frehley caught AIDS at Lemore's. He was opening up for White Lion on the Pride Tour,
You mean to
1987.
you mean to tell me Ace Frehley has had AIDS for 40 years?
Yeah.
No wonder he's had trouble walking.
All right. What else we got here? What else is going on here? Lars Ulrich says he works harder at staying fit for Metallica's physically demanding performances.
Hey man, let me tell you something about Lars Ulrich.
Tell me.
Lars Ulrich is short. Short people tend
I
to
thought for sure you were going to say he had AIDS. I thought for sure you were going to say he had
Oh,
AIDS.
it's coming. It's coming.
it's coming. But you see, short people when they get older, they get really fat. But Lars doesn't because he's got AIDS.
Yeah.
But
Well, you know what? You know how he got AIDS though is because he's uncircumcised, and that skin it keeps everything. It's like a dust trap. That's why you got to trim that shit. It's not just for Jews. If you want to be healthy, you got to fucking trim that anteater. God damn it. I think.
Oh, all right. What else is in the news? Oh, by the way, Lars was right about Napster. What else is in the news?
Oh man, I saw some footage of Alice Cooper reuniting with the original band at his annual Christmas pudding event. And I was pleasantly surprised. Really fucking good. I'm like, oh God, did they just play like the shit you heard 1,000 times? But they did play Black Mamba and Wild Ones off the new album, Revenge of Alice Cooper. And I thought it sounded amazing. Really fucking good. And it makes me wish you could see a tour with the original band. It's probably never going to happen. But I thought it sounded like really fucking good. And that made me happy. So there's that.
I don't see why it can't happen.
I don't know if the other band could I mean, here, like Cooper has said a million times, he's never stopped touring. He lives like a very clean life. He golfs all the fucking time. He does all this stuff to keep himself young. Where the rest of the band, I think not so much. I don't know if they could handle like the rigors of a 2-hour show, like, 5 nights a week or something. I really don't know. Maybe they could. Michael Bruce doesn't look like he could. Let's put it that way. Dennis Dunaway, maybe. Neil Smith. I mean, at Neil Smith's age, could he do a 2-hour show drumming constantly? I don't know. All I can say, though, is like the footage that I saw, really good. Really good. And you could tell it was live. It wasn't, nothing was piped in. And Alice, I saw another article earlier in the week where he's talking about like, oh, do you have problems with your voice? He's like, no, everything I sing is mid-range. He goes, I never did anything like in a high range that like put strain or stress. I've always had this middle of the road approach, and he goes, I can still do it. I'm not doing like Judas Priest type stuff, and like I said, he keeps fit, but no, it sounded great. But I would love to see a tour, but I think it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, Alice is one of those guys that he'll never have to take a song out of the set list because he can't sing it no more. Like
Right.
there's no real fast parts or high screaming or nothing.
Yeah, no,
He's definitely like a mid range.
Alice actually said that recently. The reason that he's never lost his voice is because he sings at this mid range.
Yeah.
Like the way Alice sings, man, you can sing like that forever. It doesn't take,
Yeah,
a lot of, power,
there's a smart path to take from early on.
I think Alice will be fine singing the way he does as long as he doesn't catch AIDS.
Yeah. Well, stay away from fucking Kiss conventions. That's a good way to not get AIDS.
Yeah, the rest of the original Alice Cooper band has AIDS. That's why they can't tour.
Nah, they're immune. They're immune. They're too fucking cool to have AIDS. Unlike Ace Frehley, who was, so I think he got it from Steve Brown, but when Steve Brown was like a young kid, when Steve Brown was still in Trickster.
Yeah, but you know what Steve Brown did? Nuprin. Cured him.
Yeah. You know what else he did? Trickster. I hope he dies.
He gave AIDS to music when he did that shit.
Yeah. So at this Kiss convention, oh my God. And what's so funny is, I know Ralph and I don't know about you, Count Ralphus, but a lot of people Ralph and I know are at this fucking thing. And it just makes me sick, but whatever. If it makes you happy, fucking,
That's the thing, dude. What the fuck?
Dave bless.
Don't go, don't care, whatever, man. What does it mean?
I know.
Why? Wait. Let me ask you a question. Why does it make you sick? Because other people are happy?
Well, no, I just find it funny because I know like the same people who like paid retarded money to go see the last Kiss show are now paying retarded money to go to Vegas to see this shit show. And
I mean, come on, baby. We all waste money on shit we like. They like this shit. Yeah, of course. Oh, you know what I found out this past week? Ralph was there. This past week on Almost Human Live.
Yeah.
We had this guy called Andrew Spaghetti. And
Scagnetti. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He told me, and we got this is great. There's people in the Kiss Army, the ones that buy the autographed guitars and shit from Paul and
the generals of the army.
Yeah. These people that buy all this equipment signed, they think they're better than you in the Kiss Army. I mean,
higher ranking. They get a higher rank like in the Kiss Army.
They're a better twat than you are.
If you paid to be Gene's roadie like $15,000, you're like a 5-star general.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine? I mean, come on, goof on Gene all you want. Gene is going to make thousands and thousands of dollars for somebody working for him for free. Come on.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Yeah. Everybody's goofing on Gene. I'm like, fucking capitalism all the way, man. Do it.
Oh, fucking A.
I would look. Just pay me $5 and you can clean my toilet. Just $5. That's all.
I thought it was great. I saw the story. We talked about on the episode where poor Monique Fraley, Ace's daughter, is dealing with all the the debt that Ace left her, and the bitch of it is Gene charged her fucking extra for the Kiss casket for Ace because he's like, if you want one that'll protect the rest of the corpses from AIDS, that's extra,
Oh.
So Gene got a little bit more green there, but I'm watching all this footage and I see our friends that are there, Courtney's there and stuff, and the guys from one of the dudes I think from Kiss Podcast Rock City or some shit got married there and all this shit. And man, I saw the footage. I saw the live footage and I was like, oof.
It sucked. I didn't see it all, but I saw Detroit Rock City and Paul sounded like ass. I was like,
See, I
well,
didn't.
they're not using tapes here.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but like the one thing, with the new box set for the Dress to Kill, one of my favorite Kiss albums of all time. A lot of times it's my favorite. I saw they played "Lover All I Can." I was like, okay, and they got live videos. I'm like, let me watch this shit. Oof, Maron. Holy shit, the vocals on that. I'm like, ooh, ooh, God, and what people are paying for this shit, But hey, I'm seeing all this stuff Courtney's posting. She's having a great time. So, have fun catching AIDS, Fuck it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. Fuck it.
Well, here's the thing, though. I think a lot of them are safe because apparently to catch AIDS, normally you got to have sex.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
most of the people at this Kiss convention ain't having sex. So they could be safe unless they shoot drugs. But they're not cool enough to shoot drugs. So they're not cool enough to shoot drugs. They're not fucking cool enough to get laid. They might get out of this shit scot-free, but broke.
They go to Vegas with thousands and thousands of dollars, but they're going to use that $1,000 for for a Kiss autographed guitar instead of a prostitute.
I know, but they're smart though. They're like 50 grand, I don't get laid, and they win.
Yeah, they don't get AIDS.
Fucking Kiss nerds. And then I saw this shit. They bring Bruce Kulick on stage to play with him. I'm like, great. Bruce gets no fucking respect. Because most people judge him because he played on some horrible albums.
But they brought him up on stage and made him play 2 songs that he didn't play on in Kiss.
I know. That's where I'm getting at. They made him play Lick It Up and fucking Rock and Roll. Like, you couldn't let the guy play fucking Tears Are Falling, for Christ's sake. The greatest thing he ever did in the band, Like, come on. I mean, and I say greatest because he actually played on it because, that's Vinnie Vincent on Unholy. But
did they play anything that Bruce played on? But they waited. They didn't. Okay,
no,
that would be fucking really ridiculous.
No, they were gonna play My Way, but that's too obvious. They were trying to give people AIDS, and they didn't want litigations.
Can you imagine Paul trying to sing My Way now?
Oh my God,
that might be the highest singing he's ever done on record.
I can't wait till Chris Jericho covers My Way because it's coming. Oh, it's coming.
And we were talking today. Wayne, me and Wayne, we did a cover.
I saw that.
We did a cover of Unholy that rules. And Quarantine just did it. Oh my God.
Yeah, I haven't heard it yet. I've heard all their other covers.
Chris Jericho sucks as a singer, man. He sucks as a singer. For me to be better, you suck as a singer. So fucking it's terrible. It's terrible. And yeah, that whole quarantine thing. And even like look, the Bruce Kulick band. Great stuff. Don't get me wrong. Some great. They do all the old Kiss shit, the Bruce Kulick Kiss shit, and the band delivers. But it's not Kiss. You're watching a cover band. You know what I mean?
What's so sad about Quarantine is he can't even afford Steve Brown. He has PJ Farley, the bass player from Trickster, in that band. PJ Farley.
I want to yank that shit off his head. Why is he always wearing that fucking cotton ball on his head? What's up with that? That fucking thing on his head.
I gotta piss. You guys talk about Kiss and AIDS and all that shit. I'll be right back.
Fucking Trickster. Even the name. The name.
Never liked them. Never. The name is the fucking
if you never heard a note and someone comes up to you and says, "Dude, check out this band, Trickster." Would you allow them to play?
Trickster? Oh, they sound evil. Trickster. Are they touring with Kix? Kix is another fucking brutal fucking band.
Yeah, that's another band I don't like. That's Ian likes that shit.
I know Tony loves them too. Tony loves
the Kiss stuff. But Trickster, I mean, hey, Trickster is fucking Led Zeppelin compared to fucking. I mean, Kix is Led Zeppelin compared to Trickster. Trickster's a fucking.
if it wasn't for Headbangers Ball back in the day, I wouldn't even know those bands existed. You know, it was like I'd sit there for hours to catch that one Napalm Death or Sepultura video or whatever, and I'd have to sit through all it. But we'd have fun making fun of these fucking bands, you know. But like you were saying something earlier, like before I think you said it before we started taping, but about like the era where you finding bands like Onslaught and stuff, and it was like I was the same exact way. It was like, after 1984 was like the last Van Halen album, but after that last Motley Crue album and stuff, and the Twisted Sister one, I was like, fuck this. I
Yeah, but
found Metallica. These guys are wearing shirts and fucking long hair and just going out there thrashing. And I was like, that's it for now on. Any band but I still like Spikes and, everything like that. But it was like, even like Judas Priest getting retarded with the turbo shit, and so many bands, Dio and Ozzy were even trying to spooge their hair up and stuff. So like I was loving finding bands like Onslaught and Omen and Jag Panzer and Hellstar and just like anything that was like not that other shit, So any of those bands like Trickster that came out, I know they came out later, so it's like I just never heard like a real song. Even stuff like what you guys were just talking about, Chris Jericho. Like I can't even remember ever hearing him. Like I know he's been in bands and stuff and done shit for years, but I've seen him in the scene kind of or whatever, but I never heard him do a song or whatever.
it sucks. Fozzie's a terrible.
Yeah.
I saw the first Fozzy show. I'm in the Fozzy video.
Talking about stupid names like Trickster, Fozzy. How fucking stupid was that? Fozzy. I hated that.
I think Fozzie's even dumber than Trickster.
It is, because it's like, is he talking about like a Muppet, one of the Muppets, or is he talking about
the original
F.
name
Ozzy?
for the band? The original name for the band was Fozzy Osbourne, and Sharon put that shit down because I think she was afraid Ozzy would get AIDS from the fucking name of the band. But no, that's true story though. That she did stop it because it was Fozzy Osbourne, and she like hit him with some papers, and then it was just called Fozzy.
But it didn't work. Ozzy got AIDS and died.
No, he died like a man from fucking old age and real drugs.
Okay.
Sharon said he could use Kelly Osbourne's name, but not Ozzy.
I got the information wrong because I read it on the Wadzilla Gazette.
yeah, that shit's all propaganda. That should give you AIDS too. So how about this? As long as we're talking about AIDS and Kiss and gay shit like that, Poison. There's some drama in the Poison world, and all revolving around a guy that, Ralph, you and I are both fans of, maybe for different reasons, but I want to get this guy on the show, the hair metal guru.
Oh.
I like this guy. I would love to have him on the show, but we're definitely going to clown on his taste and shit. But anyway, so he had...
by the way, he's a fan of mine.
Yeah. Oh, good. Get him on the show, dude.
Actually,
I would love to.
He wrote me and he added me on his Facebook and he told me that he loved my show and I goof on all the bands he likes. So
We got to get him on the show. But he had Pete Evek, the guitar player from Bret Michaels' band, on his show and said some shit that really pissed off Ricky Rocket, whatever the fuck his name is.
Racket.
Yeah, from the Rocket Mafia, the only mafia with no hits.
but they do have AIDS.
Yes, they do in abundance. But so there's all this shit going back and forth, and I thought it was pretty funny, man, because he's getting huge press out of this because he got like all these people from the Pete Evek fucking episode. And then Ricky Rocket, whatever the fuck, came back on his show, to clear all this shit up. And a lot of drama in Poison Land. And I love it. They deserve it. They deserve the fucking... I hope they're so stressed out they catch AIDS and die, from the infection.
Word on the street that is Nige Rocket from Onslaught is taking his place on the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the funny thing is he's filling in for Bobby Dahl. And we can only hope he plays the Pink Panther bass solo. But yeah. Sad times in Poison Town. I don't think we're gonna get that big 2006 tour, or 2026,
What do you
where
mean?
they're opening up for fucking Vixen.
What do you mean we're not going to get that tour? Like, like we want that tour? We're not
Yes,
getting. Oh shit!
yes.
Oh gosh, darn it!
Because if that tour comes around, Mark Allen Taylor's going to go. He's going to get AIDS. He's going to die, and then he's going to stop doing freeform, and that's what we all really want. Or fucking
Oh, speaking of which, check out the Freeform Rock podcast.
yeah. He's having a bad week, because they're starting to release names from the Epstein files.
Ian. By the way, remember last week we had Scribble on the show?
Yes, kind of.
And Scribble talked about his new little mini drama with Mark.
Yeah.
Mark started a whole thing on my page, not on the podcast page. Oh, Scribble lied, and then Scribble came in and they just started fighting each other.
Oh my God.
And Mark is like, "Oh, I banned you because of this and that," and then I left a comment going, "Scribble, Mark told me he banned you for treating him like shit in Nashville. Not cool, Scribble." Hey,
Yeah.
by the way, hi, Mark. Mark always listens to us. He always every single show. He's got a comment for us. You notice? Oh, no, I'm not going to talk about that because then he'll think I'm goofing on Freeform. I'm not going to talk about that. He loves the drama. I want to stay away from the drama.
Poor Mark, he's got the AIDS.
Oh, wait. Let me just say it now. Mark is not into drama. Okay, Mark, so you don't have to defend yourself that you love drama. I know you're not into drama, so don't bring it my way, brah.
I know Mark's on the Epstein list because he fucked 6 kids out of a good podcast. They listened to that shit and they were thoroughly disappointed. He's podcast trafficking. He's stealing people from our page. They listen to that shit and they get AIDS, and then they die. So don't listen. It's a horrible show with no talent.
How did Mark not catch AIDS from all the shit he listens to? It's kind of impossible not to catch AIDS if you listen to Oingo Boingo, right?
Well, and that's the funny thing is he doesn't catch it, but yet he's a carrier. He passes it on. I think that's why he has 7 wives. They keep dying of AIDS. I don't think they leave him. I think they leave this earth.
Mark cares. Mark has sex with his wives when the AIDS don't flare up. When the AIDS flare up, he stays away from them.
Yeah.
AIDS is like herpes.
I don't know. I saw some post online, and his ex-wife say the only thing he fucked him was out of happiness. It is what it is, though.
By the way, you're obsessed with Mark Alvin Taylor.
I know. I am. I love it.
You brought him up again, so you are obsessed.
He is. He's like Terrence, but he won't call the cops. It's safe fun.
You're obsessed with a guy that you don't even listen to his show.
So am I really obsessed?
Stuff, man.
Am I obsessed or am I just AIDS curious? I don't know. Maybe it's a phase. Let's see what else is going on. Sharon Osbourne's upset about this new Black Sabbath album, and she's fighting with the original manager. Have you heard the new Black Sabbath release? No. I haven't, and I haven't checked it out yet.
What are you talking about? The Earth demos?
Yeah.
No, you haven't?
Yeah.
I pre-ordered it. They keep pushing it back.
Oh yeah, no, I got it.
Oh, I gotta go on my little network to find it now.
Yeah, it's there. If not, Dr. X will send it to you. But I haven't even listened to it because I saw the song lists, and I feel like it's shit I've heard a million times. So it's I got it, but I haven't listened to it. But
a couple songs that I don't recognize the titles.
Yeah, but I figure it's probably low res quality and all this shit.
We'll see.
I don't know. Just me. I was I'll get around to it, But I mean, it is what it is. It's somebody totally taking advantage of the fact that
I don't give a fuck.
Ozzy died and he's trying
I
to
don't-
make a buck.
I don't give a fuck if Jim releases it, Sharon releases it, your mama releases it. I want it. I don't give a fuck who releases it. Oh, Sharon comes out and goes, I want to tell all the Black Sabbath fans not to buy it. Stay away from it. That's the bitch that released Diver Madman and Blizzard of Oz with Robert Trujillo and Mike Borden. You know? And
Yeah, it was great. I watched your Only News That Matters before this, before we
Yeah.
started taping today, the one that you did, and it was great that you bring that up. It's
Oh,
like
yeah,
fucking
I don't
perfect.
even-
That and the Kelly Osbourne thing that you bring up too at the end, that was fucking
Well,
real.
you know, I think that's funny. Everybody bitches about Sharon doing the fucking, Diary and fucking Blizzard with the, redid bass and drums. But nobody complains about the fact that she released Osmosis with Perry Mason on it. I think that's even worse offense because that song sucks.
You know Perry Mason, the actor,
Raymond Burr.
died of AIDS.
Yeah, from that song because that song sucks.
Yeah, that song gave him AIDS.
Yeah, that song was so bad it cost fucking Zach Wilde his job and he was replaced with Joe Holmes.
Yeah,
That's how bad.
Yeah, the music to that song is awesome. The
I love
fucking
that
lyrics
song.
is fuck.
I love it.
I think the lyrics are just stupid. I've never watched Perry Mason, so I think it's stupid as fuck. But I remember every time that song started in the beginning, the music was like he could have had some cool evil lyrics going through that. It would have been way better.
I got a story about it. This actually happened. I'm shit you not. I used to, may he rest in peace, my old friend George Royal. I used to go to George Royal's house and smoke weed and watch Perry Mason all the time. And one of the episodes, I shit you not, it was a monkey cage, right? And at the end of the episode in court, on the bottom of the monkey cage, there was a big bag of cocaine, right? They solved the case. I swear to God. Raymond Burr grabs the cocaine, puts it in his pocket, and smiles at the camera. That's how the show ended. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the fuck? That's why
So
Perry.
you're saying they had real cocaine on the set, you think, or that
I
was
don't
just like
know.
a little nod, a little goof, like a
Well,
joke?
knowing back then, it might have been real, It ain't like today, it's all stunt coke,
Yeah. You know who they got the coke from?
AIDS.
Alex Marquez.
Oh,
True story.
you have to bring him up, man.
I'm just trying to. Trying to put the name out there.
You know, I can't edit shows. I don't want to edit shows anymore.
Okay.
I do not subscribe to what Ian said. Look, right there. Ian said something that really I wouldn't like him to say. But at the same time, fuck it, bro. Say whatever. You think I'm happy that Ian keeps talking about AIDS with AIDS Fraley? Calls him AIDS Fraley? You think I'm happy about that? I am not. But at the same time, I don't give a fuck what Ian says. I don't get offended at anything. I may not like AIDS Fraley, but it doesn't affect. It does not.
Every time you say it, it gets funnier.
It doesn't offend me. It doesn't. I'm not that sensitive. I'll be honest with you. It would have offended me in the past. But I've gotten to this age that I don't give a fuck about nobody anymore. You got a problem with me, I don't give a fuck. Whatever, so Ian says all this shit that I don't like, but at the same time, I don't get offended by it, he said AIDS freely. My vagina hurts. Somebody poured sand in my vagina and butthole. AIDS freely.
You say it more than me. I love it. It's great. All right. Well, here's something that's cool, and this is related to our episode tonight. Cy Keeler, his reunion with Onslaught is 100% permanent, says guitarist Nige Rocket.
Nige.
Is it Nige?
Yeah.
He's Ricky's brother.
Yeah, No, not the front. Jump in the back. Um,
It's
uh,
not.
cool. Are you guys happy about this? Are you glad Nidge is back
No,
or Size back?
no, I
I
love.
Uh,
I kind of prefer the original guy, but I think he's the second best that you could
are,
get. You know.
hey, are you talking about Pat Mahoney? You like Pat Mahoney
Yeah,
better
yeah.
or
I
Paul
just like
Mahoney?
that. I just like that album better. You know.
Interesting. We'll get into that later when we talk about the album. Um, but no, that's cool though. And I will say, I went on this link and they had footage. Um, that was the first show back. It just happened a couple days ago on November 9th. And I watched the footage. Very impressed. I thought it sounded really good. I mean, considering, yes, it is phone like recorded footage, but I thought the vocals sounded really fucking good. I saw him play, shit. God damn it, I'm so drunk. My favorite track on the fucking album, spoiler alert, Fight with the Beast. Yeah, I saw footage of him playing Fight with the Beast. I thought he sounded really fucking good. So killer. I don't know if that
Does
shit
he
will come stateside.
does he
Probably not.
does he sing on the 2025 release that came out, or no? He just got back in the band.
Yeah, no, he just got back because they did the release earlier this year. That was like, it was like a lot of re-recordings. I believe it was a 2 disc set. The first disc was,
Origins of Aggression, it's called. So that
yeah,
sounds like it
yeah.
would be like old stuff.
Yeah, the first disc was all re-recordings of shit off like I believe the first 3 albums. It might have just been the first 2, and then the second disc was all covers. From bands that inspired Onslaught and shit like that. But as soon as that was released, the singer, I forget his name, Dave something, that was on the last 2 albums or last this one and the one before. Anyway, he's gone. Size back. Apparently now they're saying this is permanent. This is the way they're going to go out. Sounds good, because they got back with Psy, when they first reformed in the early 2000s and did I think like 2 or 3 albums with Psy, and then they got the other guy. But now he's back, and all I can say is the footage I saw, I thought he sounded really fucking good. So that's cool, and more people need to check out Onslaught. So there you go. All right, what else we got going on here? Let's see. All right. Well, I'm not. Okay, here we go. Something we need to talk about. We alluded at it earlier, but David Coverdale formally announced something I think people were expecting for a long time. He's officially done. He's thrown in his hat. He's like, no, there is going to be no rescheduled dates. It's over. It's done. And I think that's fucking awesome. I think it's awesome, and I think it's overdue. He should have done this a long time ago. His original plan was to go out right before COVID, and then COVID happened. But I mean, the guy's like 74 years old, and he's done it all. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, even though we don't put much faith in that, but he is. He's got his history with Deep Purple, with Whitesnake. He's played with Jimmy Page, for Christ's sake. He's done it all. Fucking retire. Enjoy what time you have left. He stopped dyeing his hair. He put this video out. His shit's all gray, and I think it's fucking awesome, man. I think it's awesome just to say, fuck it. I can't do it. I've had a good run. I'm done. I hope he sticks with it, and I hope he enjoys the rest of his life. What do you guys think?
I think it's crazy that he like Glenn Hughes did more drugs than Ian and him put together, and he's still going strong. I seen him just a couple of years ago. He fucking sounded incredible, like top
Yeah.
of his game kind of sounding, And that guy out partied like he shouldn't be alive. When you read his autobiography, he has one of the most insane lives that you
Yeah.
ever read about in music.
But
But
he also stopped like 30 years ago.
yeah, but
You
those
know?
other guys probably did too. I mean, but
Yeah.
the way he partied back then, it seemed like he would have done so much damage. And for him to still be going so strong, and he's around the same age, I would imagine,
Oh, yeah.
But
No, he sounds great, but I got to say, I was doing a lot of Deep Purple today, and I listened to this great bootleg, or not bootleg. I think it's an official Deep Purple release. It was from like the Stormbringer tour, and I gotta say, when Glenn Hughes would do the screaming during Burn, I'm like, oh my god, I want to fucking smack the shit out of him. He's got a great voice, but every time he would do that fucking like, no wonder Jimmy or fucking Richie Blackmore left. Oh, fucking terrible. But
Oh,
other than that,
he was so high when he was doing that.
oh yeah.
I seen him actually play in Sabbath. He only did like 5 or 6 shows when
Oh,
he
you
was on
saw
that.
one of those? Holy
Yeah, I
shit!
seen like the last one. Like the crowd was booing him and stuff. It was Wasp and Anthrax opened up at
I
the
was just gonna
Meadowlands,
say, was it Wasp and Anthrax? Awesome.
I
and
think,
yeah,
yeah, I think he only played 3 shows. They booked Miami, and I had a ticket and everything, and with Wasp and Anthrax, and they canceled it.
yeah, he was horrible. Like he got punched in the nose or the throat or something
Right?
like a week
Yeah.
before the tour started. And by the time it got to New Jersey, I think the very next show they either canceled or that was the last show, and then the other guy came in. But yeah, it was horrible, and that was in the '80s. He was horrible, but when I seen him a couple of years ago, he sounded better than I ever heard him on record or anything.
Oh
He was
yeah.
so perfect. It was unbelievable. Never heard anyone sing like that.
No,
Like
his new shit, I mean, sounds great. And by new shit, I mean shit that's even 30 years old. But I've heard a lot of bootlegs from his time in Deep Purple and live. He over sings so much shit. And I think it
oh
was
yeah,
like, well, not only the coke, but I think it was the fact that, like, initially when he first joined, he didn't think he was going to be second banana to David Coverdale, which you can tell. I mean, he's got an ego, and rightfully so. He does have an even better voice, but I think he oversang so much shit. You know, it's like, like when you hear him on a lot of these Deep Purple bootlegs, it's like Mariah Carey singing the fucking national anthem, where it's like, shut the fuck up, just serve the song, don't fucking oversing it. But his voice,
those early bootlegs, though, sometimes if you're on one side of the stage or the other side of the stage, the way they recorded them, that would happen like all the time. You'd be like, how could they play with the bass that loud? But if you were in the audience that night, you probably
right?
sounded normal, but he was too close to
Yeah,
the
but
bass amps or whatever.
it's not the bass; it's his fucking screaming fucking vocals. But anyway, we're talking about David Coverdale, and lucky I got to see him twice. I saw him with Whitesnake, on the Steve Vai slip of the tongue shit, sounded great. I saw him in the early 2000s, with the Reb Beach era, and he sounded great. But yeah, fuck it, man. Retire, have a good time. I just hope at some point we get a remastered box set of Coverdale Page. That's all I care about. That'd be awesome. What do you think, Ralph?
I read in the Wattzilla Gazette that the reason that he's retiring is because every arena is near schools, and he was arrested for kitty diddling.
That's terrible. That offends me, Ralph.
I like the Wattzilla Gazette. Read all about
it. Extra. But do you think he made the right choice, or do you think he should go out and croak?
He lost his voice. He actually had on the last tour a singer on stage with him to do.
Yeah, the keyboard player.
Do all the hard parts. No. But at the same time, I think he's making a mistake as far as financially, because people would pay to see fucking David Coverdale, even if he sucked. After all, look at Motley Crue and Kiss and all these. They're going to see fucking these bands suck. So Coverdale could have still kept making money and sucking like everybody else.
He must care about his fans more than those other bands, I guess, for him to say it's time.
Probably, but.
I don't want to see Ian Gillan like trying to sing and smoke on the water and fall off the stage because he can't fucking see the stage,
But at least he knew 20 years ago to stop singing "Child in Time." So
30 years.
No choice really.
30 years. It's been 30 years now.
Has it? Oh my God!
It's ever since Born Again. I think after Born Again, he couldn't do half the.
He did Child in Time in '84 on the Perfect Strangers tour.
I think he did. I think he did it up until I think the last time he did it was what was that horrible Battle Rages On. I think that's the last tour he did it on.
I don't know.
But
I got the show. I don't think he does it on there. I got that DVD. Great DVD. You ever seen that DVD where Blackmore doesn't come out during half of the song?
oh, that Come Hell or High Water.
Yeah, and then he throws a cup on the cameraman.
Yeah.
Yeah. That shit was awesome.
Well, here's one that blew my fucking mind. Holy shit. I saw it is so hard to keep up with your videos, Ralph, because you do so many. I love them. I love them. But man, it is hard to keep up with the output that you have. But I did see one where you said, and this was something I thought you were going to fucking hate and just blow, but you like the second single release from Megadeth, I Don't Care.
Love it. It reminds me of classic Megadeth. It's
Wow.
it's got attitude, and it rips. It's a ripping song. Nothing wrong with that tune. I love it.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, though, I've seen the fan base is very divided. I've seen no like middle of the road. Either people are completely in alignment with you, Ralph, or they think it's like the worst thing. Like, what the fuck are they thinking? Count Ralphus.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I only heard the first song and I thought it sounded cool. And I hated the last album. Like I had to do it as a album battle, and it took me like 3 times to get through it. And I just didn't like, there's some good guitar stuff going on here and there, but it was just I couldn't get into like any songs on that album. I thought it was horrible. But this one song that I heard sounded better than everything off of the last album. So
all right, well, you're no fucking help. I mean, yeah, I like Tipping Point. You like Tipping Point, Ralph. You didn't really care for Tipping Point.
I didn't care for it. But here's the thing, that video I did, look at the comments. It's 50-50. People, oh, I agree with you, Ralph. This shit is the best thing they've done since 99 Ways to Die. I've gotten several comments like that, and then I've gotten comments of people saying, this is the worst Megadeth song ever, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? It's all legitimate opinions. I respect. Yeah. It may not match with mine, but if you think that's the worst Megadeth, you're right to you.
No, but you're a great barometer of that because I am on the flip side of that. I was like, because I kept watching. The one thing I do love, I will say, I love the guitar solos on it. I think the guitar solos are awesome. But like lyrically, and I think it pales in comparison to Liar. But I think it is kind of neat, though, that it is that polarizing. I have not seen one thing where like, everybody either loves it or hates it. And I think that's a good response, though. I really do. I think that's, at least people are passionate about it one way or another.
Yeah, I woke up in the morning, oh, look, I got a PayPal from this dude saying, hey, review the new Megadeth song, I Don't Care. I think it's about David Ellison. And I got out of bed. I go, I got to listen to this. And I thought it was going to suck. You know how I am, I don't give Megadeth much of a chance since really fucking rest in peace. But I heard and I was like, fuck, dude, this shit it reminded me of classic Megadeth. It was kind of like the old Dave writing the song. And I love the lyrics. Love it. The lyrics are fucking awesome. I love how he uses the term jack off.
Yeah.
You're like, that may be about David Ellison,
Right. Well, I didn't even think about it, though, until you brought it up, But it's funny, I was thinking about, like I even talked about in our last episode, reaching out to Toomey, because he's still my buddy, and he's doing the podcast with Ellefson. And I thought, like, hey, maybe we'll get Ellefson on the show. And then I thought about it's like, man, all the videos you've got, and I must have, and I know I don't see all of your videos. I see I've seen about 7 of your videos where it's all constant, like the Ellefson jerk off video. I don't know if he would come on. I don't know if he knows about him. I think it would be great. I mean, I thought he was a nice guy when we talked to him. It sucked because fucking Tom Hazelnuts was there and shit. Jacking the fucking interview.
Yeah, but he
Uh,
allowed it. He allowed it, man. Come on.
yeah, no, no, no. He did it. There's a lot of people that say he had a big, uh, to do and Ellefson getting kicked out of the band. A lot of it. I've heard from people who know shit saying, yeah, that shit didn't help. The whole Hazelnut era
I ended up doing a show with that guy,
with
Hazel.
Hazelnut,
Yeah, I was on the Metal Voice with Jimmy K.
right?
And he asked me to be on the show. And when I went on the show, there he was. I was like, hey, I interviewed you in Nashville. Yeah, I forgot
Okay.
what we were talking about, but yeah, I was
Yeah.
on the show with Hazelnut after that.
Yeah, but I'm curious about the new album because it's one of those. How could you not be? It's their last one. I loved one song, didn't like the other, but I'll check it out. But it's funny. I saw like another story on Mustaine where he's like, "Yeah, oh, this is the final tour, but this tour could go on for 5 years." you know.
Well, they gotta go the Slayer route. The same thing Slayer did. Slayer route, do 5 years,
Yeah.
hit every place one. Like you only if they come to Madison Square Garden, the next leg ain't gonna hit the Garden. So they're gonna
Well,
play every place once and try to get like every area that they can get and make as much as they can before they're done.
Well, you can already see like what they're doing. Like they're going to be opened up in the U.S. and Canada for Maiden, so they're going to do a leg where they're opening up, and then they're
Yeah.
going to do a leg where they're headlining. And then they're going to drag this shit out, and before you know it, he'll probably change his fucking mind. Um, but Timu sounds good on this shit. And that Dirk Durkins or Dirk Vidurkin, whatever the fuck his drummer's name is. I like that guy. I still have a hard time with Lamenzo. And I know I shouldn't, but I can't take anybody seriously who's been in fucking White Lion. I'm sorry. I can't take it fucking. And I know he's played, I've seen him. I've seen him live with David Lee Roth. I think I've seen him with Black Label Society. But you can't get a little pregnant. You can't, you're either black or you're not, and you were either in White Lion or you're not, And I can't get over the fact that he's in White Lion. So and White Lion sucks fucking cock, and Vito Bratta can suck a dick straight up. I don't give a fuck.
What the fuck? White Line sucks cock, you said? Like singular cock?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I know you're kind of homophobic. I know a lot of gay guys. I only know one guy that would let White Lion suck their cock, and he's a whore.
That's why.
Not every gay guy will just let anybody suck them off.
They only found one cock to suck.
Yeah, I mean, God, they did when the children cry. God, even gay people have standards.
And I stand corrected.
Okay. All right. So
I seen White Lion open up for Crocus in like 1983.
I'm sorry.
I seen White Lion open up for. Oh, I thought you couldn't hear me, but yeah, 1983. The White Lion, and they didn't have an album out that I know of at the time. They were like a New York band, I guess, and they got on that bill, and that show got aired on MTV, the Crocus show, but not the White Lion part. But I remember thinking that White Lion was like a Van Halen tribute band. That's what they looked like. The singer looked just like David Lee Roth, and the guitar player looked like Eddie Van Halen. And then a couple years later, they started putting out videos on MTV and stuff. But,
I saw them. I saw them over for Ace Frehley.
See, fag. But no, that's funny you say that though, because I've read like an interview with Mike Tramp where he's talking about how much he worshipped David Lee Roth, and when they came to like France or whatever fucking shithole country he's from,
Denmark.
Yeah, whatever. Oh God, that's. Did
I tell you my brief encounter with Mike Tramp? It was interesting.
No.
All right, White Lion was opening for Aerosmith, right? And back in the day, we would be in the parking lot drinking Jack and shit, and I see a crowd of people rushing toward the back. And I'm thinking, hey, maybe it's Steven Tyler, Brad Whitford, or somebody. So I run back there, and it's Mike Tramp, right? I got close enough, and he's like, "Hey," Mike Tramp like called me. He goes, "Hey, that's my best friend," and I was wearing a King Diamond shirt. He goes, "That's my best friend. We're from Denmark." And then he gave me a autograph. I think I still have it somewhere. A little autograph picture of White Line. But I got nice.
You know what else you got? AIDS.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's best friends with King Diamond. He told me.
You know why you're in the hospital all the time? You got AIDS from Mike Tramp, who caught it from Ace Frehley.
No, he caught it from a White Line.
You gotta stay away from the tramp. You gotta stay away from tramps. That's where you catch it.
Oh God. Did you guys see this the 40th anniversary reissue of Hell Awaits that's coming out?
Yeah, I want it. I want it. It's got a lot of cool live shit on it.
Yeah, did you see the fucking price though?
No.
God damn, man.
I
Yeah,
saw
all these prices
I
are
did
just
see
getting
they
crazy.
have an album. There's only 666 of them. That's
Right.
you know, there's blood in there.
Right.
That I did look at. It was like $100 bucks. I was like, fuck you.
Well, you know what sucks though is I got the Slayer box set, the CD box set. You know the one, the ammunition one, and it comes with like the fucking seasons one or whatever that's in the blood. That shit dried up, and
Mine dried up.
Yeah, it totally fucked up.
I got the original.
Nice. But I mean, what I'm getting at though is I look at the package. It's a nice package. It's great. I mean, a lot of cool shit. But the fucking price in this day and age,
Yeah, it's ridiculous. For old
you know,
albums.
I know
And that liquid thing is everybody's doing that now too. I see Doro's got a liquid album, and everybody's got different liquid
You know what?
album now.
You know what Doro did here last week? I was excited, man. She
did the boat thing.
No, she was at Rock and Roll Ribs to sign her new record.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
with the blood. I mean the liquid thing. That's what I got. I seen that.
So I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go meet Doro again." You know, $230.
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, "Fuck you."
And that's before the plate of ribs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's like the thing with the Slayer thing, man. It's like, man, it's really cool, but the fucking price. And I know, I mean,
how much? How much?
I think it's like 200 and something for the deluxe version. You know, but here's the thing, like, and I ain't hating, dude. I'm happy for you. But some motherfucker out there is gonna buy it for Ralph. Like Ralph has got all these like 200 box sets where these people buy it for him, and I ain't hating. Dude.
It's one person.
I tell you what, Ralph deserves this shit for all the shit he does. I am not hating, but I'm saying for the average fan, and especially the average Slayer fan right now.
Fuck the average fan. Fuck them all. I'm an average fan. I can't.
It's all the rich kids that are getting it.
Yeah.
I hope if Ralph gets it for free, I hope he leaves it on his turntable one day and goes out. And it's like 120 degrees in Florida that day, and the shit just melts, and it fucking all the blood goes into his record player, and he's got to go fucking get it fixed again for another like 2 months.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love that.
Unless you pay for it, then I don't hope that happens.
No, but I mean, seriously, no, I do. I think it's great. I mean, Ralph does so much for the fucking metal community. I love that he has fans that do all this stuff. But I'm just saying, for basic Slayer fans, it's a little much. And I get it. I mean, you are getting a lot for it, but and I'm just jealous. I wish I could afford it, but I can't. But the packaging and everything, it's great. But man, just the fact that it's been 40 years since fucking Hell Awaits.
I'm already off the train of caring about getting. I mean, like you said, I would love to have it. It'd be awesome thing to have, great collectible thing. But every classic album that ever came out is getting a fucking deluxe box set.
Oh yeah.
There's ones for fucking stupid shit, you know. So well, what are you gonna start? You start getting them, and then you just got to keep getting them and getting them. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, I got the Kill 'Em All one, but then I didn't get the Ride the Lightning and the Master Puppets ones. It's like I want them; they'd be cool, but it's like, all right, it's just gonna take up a ton of space. And I mean, I'm not putting it down to people who do get it because I would like to have if I was rich and had the
Oh,
room
fuck
for it.
yeah. But like Ralph, you got the I didn't see it, but I saw you put a video up for the Dress to Kill, and I would love to have that one. Did you buy that, or was that a gift?
Oh, it was a gift.
But
And
did you see how much it was going for though?
$420.
That's fucking retarded. I mean, great,
There was
great.
like a pre-sale that was like $730 when it was like
Right.
a
Well,
pre-sale.
here's the thing. Without the bells and whistles, I have all the audio. I download it all in a FLAC file, like the highest quality fucking sound you can get, and all this shit for free. You know, I stole that shit. Um, haven't even listened to it yet.
I
Yeah,
gotta
good.
tell you,
Good.
the best thing about that box set, the fucking, the fucking Blu-ray.
Oh
Dude,
yeah,
Blu-ray on that album. I played it on my Sense-Around TV.
yeah.
Fuck, hey man.
Sounded great. Was it like Dolby Atmos?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
nice.
It fucking going out of all the speakers, little parts of songs. It was a new experience hearing that
Oh,
album. I've never heard that album sound that good in my life. And I gotta
see,
tell you, the fucking the vinyl on that sounds better than that re-release that because I compared of 2015, I think it was.
yeah.
It sounds a little too loud on the original on the 2015. This one's balanced nicely, man. But
That's
it doesn't sound as amazing as it did on my TV. That is
that's something I'm waiting for. It's like I'm buying my stereo in parts, like when I can afford it, because I'm doing a Dolby Atmos stereo system, and I bought my front speakers when they went on sale. I've got my front speakers. I don't even have a fucking receiver because the receiver that I want is this Denon receiver that's almost like $600, you know. And it's like, and I've got a center channel that I want that's like 400, a sub that's like three something. I've already got the rear channel speakers that the previous owner of my house left. He installed them in the walls in my loft area where I have my 4K projector and everything. But it's like it'll probably be years, before I complete it. But I can't wait because I want to hear some of this shit in this Dolby Atmos because you're seeing a lot of these box sets come out with it, and I think it'll sound phenomenal. And you're backing it up that it sounded fantastic, so that's killer. But
something else I bought that had a Blu-ray in it that sounded unbelievable. And this I bought actually. Made in Japan.
oh, nice, you got that.
Yeah, this brings a Blu-ray of the actual album, but this brings all shows.
Yeah, and it's got the Steve Wilson mix and everything, right?
Yeah, but my God, the Blu-ray playing this on my TV was
Wow.
unfucking believable. I paid for
I
this.
got,
I didn't want to get it on vinyl; it was too expensive, but got it on CD.
I got a piss. Keep talking about that. That shit's awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, so this whole that did every night, man. I kick back, put on a movie on that big ass TV with the surround sound bullshit going on, man. Fucking and a lot of times I play what sounded great on that? The Dio Legends Never Die documentary. And I didn't realize this. I have it on 4K. All this time I didn't know. I bought the Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray came with the 4K. And I didn't
Oh
realize
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. I gotta play this on my new TV. And it sounded so good, man. So fucking good. and it really does.
I got a 4K TV, but I never got the player. I got the 4K TV and I didn't get a player for it yet.
Believe
The
me,
DVD,
when,
Blu-ray.
when when I play my 4K shit and I turn up the volume and I play like a very good looking 4K, and there's a lot of Blu-rays like that look amazing as well. You know, there's some Blu-rays you can't get on 4K. You know, but
Yeah.
the Blu-rays look amazing as well. But when I put that shit on and I put the TV on full blast and I get on my couch, the reclining, it really does feel like I'm in a movie theater. It's got that kind of rumbling effect, and you know, like action movies. Like I bought the Terminator on 4K.
Yeah, that's a good 4K.
Ooh, is it ever? And the
Yeah.
sound effects, all the action shit. When I had that shit full blast cranking in my house, man, fucking
You know, you know who hit me up the other day was Lee McCormick. Uh, and Lee was like, "Hey, you know, I hear you and Ralph, you know, talking about all the 4K stuff." He goes, "I'm thinking about taking the plunge. You know, you think I should and stuff?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I'm like, "If you got the setup for it and stuff, you know." And I sent him a link to like players and you know, but I said first and foremost, you got to make sure your TV is right because just because your TV is 4K don't mean you know, it's a shit because I used to be like that. Oh, it's 4K and it's big. No, you got to have the right, you know, setup and shit. But then the audio setup too. But it sounds like you've got like a killer fucking setup. So
and they came here and they installed it.
I got to piss really quick.
go ahead, man.
They installed it for me, you know, and
No, that's killer, dude. And I'm glad you like. I'm glad you're happy with that TV too, because I'd feel bad if I recommended it and you didn't like it. But I love that fucking thing.
every night, man, I get on my recliner and I watch a Blu-ray or a 4K I got. It's like fucking heaven, man.
What'd you get for your 4K player? Did you get a Sony or a Panasonic?
I don't know.
Okay, bye.
When Ralphus comes back, I'll go take a look.
Right on.
I remember.
But yeah, so you got the Kiss fucking you know the Dress to Kill one, and then you've seen, of course, now they've got this new Alive one that's coming out, and I think that one's like $500.
It's the same price, 400 something.
Oh, is it 400? But still, it's like get the fuck out of here! God damn.
I'm buying it.
Yeah. But you know, people are gonna buy it. I can't blame them.
I am.
Are you personally gonna pay for that one?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I will say this because I did a video about it. And I go, look, man, J Man got me the blue, and I'm not gonna, you know, J Man might buy, you know, he could buy me the Alive one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I said in the video, J Man, don't buy me it. I'm gonna pay for it myself. Doing that, some cool dude. I won't say how much he sent me, but he sent me a nice amount of money for it. He just said, "Here, I'm putting this in for you to buy that box set."
Wow.
Ain't that cool? I mean, it's about
That
he sent me about a quarter of what it's worth.
that is amazing. But that shows, and like I said, I am not a hater. It shows the love that people have for you in the you know the YouTube community and the music community that send you all this stuff. I think it's fantastic because you do amazing videos. You make people happy, and if people have the money to spare to send to you, I think that's fantastic. I ain't hating on that shit at all. It's just I think these bands, what they're asking of the fans to pay right now, is kind of unrealistic in today's society.
The same thing could be said about Ticketmaster.
Oh yeah. No, it's ridiculous. And I mean, I have a good job. I make good money. But I also have a big house with a big fucking mortgage payment. I can't afford a lot of this shit. And like even these shows. I might go see a show in December. And what's funny is like kind of like how you said, Ralph, you know, like getting older, you're like, I don't want to go to this shit. But I might go see Pentagram even though like it's really Bobby Liebling, that's it, But still, I've never seen Pentagram. I love, Sign of the Wolf and all that
Yeah, I
shit.
would love to see that.
That
Yeah,
shit,
I
So
never seen them.
yeah,
yeah,
that won't be expensive.
yeah, no, it's not. It's not. But here's the thing: it's like where I live now. Uh, I've never lived anywhere like where I live now. Like I have work friends, but I have no music friends. You know what I mean? Like people that are into what I'm into. I'm older. I work with a lot of young kids. They have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. And I get, it's like my wife, I mean, my wife would go if I asked her, but it ain't her bag. She's gone and seen shit with me. Like I've taken her to see Uncle Acid a couple times and, some other shit like that. But I know Pentagram ain't going to be her band. And I'm like, do I want to go by myself? I passed on DRI. I should have went. They were playing on a weekend. I should have went and saw DRI, and I didn't go because I've never seen DRI.
I'm seeing
But like,
DRI. Check out this little in 3 days straight. DRI. The next day, obituary. The day
wow,
the day after that, God damn it, who was it again? I'll think of it. There's another band. In 3 days straight, I'm going to shows.
oh, this is current coming up.
My first time seeing DRI.
Yeah.
My first time seeing DRI was at Lemore's with Creator.
Oh,
It was
nice.
Crossover and Terrible Certainty.
The first time I saw
Wow.
DRI was Crossover, but they were headlining.
Nice.
And I opened once for DRI.
But yeah, no, I'm getting to that like where I want to go, but I miss going to show with my friends, and my metal brothers. And I've gone to shows by myself and I had a good time, but it's not the same. And the older I get, the more I'm like, it's harder for me to go out by myself, than it was when I was younger.
I usually go to shows alone.
Yeah.
And when I get there, I know everybody there.
Well,
But
it's kind of a cool thing is like I know I'm not going to know anybody because I'm not from this area. I know I'm not going to see anybody I know, but I guess on the flip side is you're going to be there with like-minded people, so you're going to make friends. You're gonna, you might meet, who knows? I could go to this and meet my new best metal friend around here. I don't know. I hope I go.
I go to every show with my wife, and I'm always drinking, so she'll drive to every show that
Oh,
we
that's
go
perfect.
to.
That's perfect.
But every show, like when you talk about like a Rush show and AC/DC tickets coming up and or on sale and Iron Maiden next year, it's like those shows, whatever how much people complain about the price, it's double for me because it's 2 tickets for everything that I do.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Now, does
and
your
then
wife
and they're all
does your
city
wife
shows. New
enjoy
York City.
that, or does she
Oh
just
yeah,
go
oh
because she
totally.
loves you? Okay,
Oh
cool.
no, she totally goes. I was with her for 2 weeks, and she was like, "What are you doing this weekend? Let's hang out." And I said, "I'm going to a concert in New York City." And she's like, "Oh, can I come?" I'm like, "Yeah." That first show she went to was Agnostic Front, Malevolent Creation, Obituary, and Cannibal Corpse at the
Holy
Ritz
shit!
in New York City.
Damn.
So she pretty much been going to every show since then. She loved
Oh,
it, all
she's
the
a
crazy
lifer.
slamming and everything. But she showed up
Nice.
at my house with like a her normal like outfit and stuff, and I made her put on a Butcher That Birth shirt. I said, "Now you can go." She couldn't.
Nice. I listened to that album. That's one of the Cannibal Corpse albums I listened to today. Awesome. All right. Let's see if we got anything else here. Let's see. Nah, 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 nah. Blabbermouth is sad lately,
I
man.
got some Megadeth. I got some Megadeth related kind of news. Is I so we did a death ranking uh on Rock Fantasy Files this week, and then last week or whatever we had Rick Roz on Almost Human. So a lot of death like talking, listening to them this week. But I seen that there's like a tribute album coming out, and it's like the Sound of Perseverance in its entirety by Death. The last Death album, but Chris Poland from Megadeth, the original guitar player, is going to be playing all the guitars on the album. And I guess they got other
Oh,
people
wow.
coming in and out of the album, like special guests for each song and stuff. But he's like a set for to play on the whole album on guitar.
Right. Well, for some of our listeners, in case they don't know, Chris Poland is the best guitar player that was ever in Megadeth.
And he
In case
never
they don't know.
caught, and he never caught AIDS.
Yes, he never caught AIDS. Even though he was an intravenous drug user, he didn't catch AIDS because he didn't do shitty albums like fucking Cryptic Writings. That's how you catch AIDS, is playing on Cryptic Writings. That's why Marty Freeman moved to Japan, because he caught AIDS.
You also catch AIDS if you share needles with AIDS Freely.
Yeah. Oh, and well, that's the last story before we go into the album. That they did release the official cause of death for Ace Frehley, and he died from a fall that was caused by
AIDS. Not AIDS.
No. He
It's
fell
official
because he
now.
had AIDS.
You cannot make that joke no more. It's official. We heard the cause of death from now on.
All right.
Hey,
He's a fag.
the Wadzilla Gazette begs to differ.
That's right. No GNU's is good GNU's with Gary GNU.
Wadzilla Gazette, yo.
All right, well, let's go into this album, and this is one that I picked. For all you people like Wadzilla hates metal, I picked this one. And but it's one that I got to admit that I was not familiar with. Onslaught was always a band that, to me, I almost call it like t-shirt metal. I saw a lot more Onslaught the Force t-shirts than I've heard anybody talk about the actual album. And it's one of those things that's carried on through the years. To this day, you still see, you open up anything metal and you see Onslaught the Force t-shirts and stuff like that. But I also remember...
I see Power from Hell t-shirts way more throughout the years.
Really?
I've always seen Power from
really?
Hell.
When I see that, I see more of the Force, but it's got the pentagram. The pentagram always sells. The pentagram is fucking metal. And it's funny, I was thinking about that today, and as much as I hate to admit when Ralph's right, when he's right, he's right.
I'm always right.
But like Anthrax. I love Anthrax 1,000 times more than fucking Ralph. But he's like, they never wanted anything to do with the fucking pentagram, until like the late 2000s, and then it's all over the place.
Not only that, they would say in interviews back in the 80s, we don't use the stupid satanic imagery.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Yeah, we will never use that. You know what I mean? Fucking.
Yeah. Oh, no. And I love it because, like, I know, I read those same articles. I know you're telling the truth. I know that shit was out there.
I always tell the truth.
I even when I lie. But I do like the Anthrax logo with the fucking pentagram, but it's like fake as fuck, and it's like grabbing onto shit because like you spent all these years talking shit about it, and now you embrace it because it helps sell t-shirts. But anyway, this t-shirt always sold because it had a pentagram on it. And I also remember around the time that what's the third album? Sanity.
In Search of Sanity.
In Search of Sanity. I do remember seeing that one pushed a lot. Like in the magazines I was reading, there was a lot of ads for that album. But it's a band I never checked out. But I've always heard all this shit. Like
you would never see this shirt. You would never see this shirt. What a fucking lame album cover. That would never be the hot shirt to wear.
Right, but I remember seeing that all over metal magazines around the time of its release. It was promoted, but I never got into it. Wasn't my bag. There you go, Ralph's got it. That's not AI.
It's a good album, but it's a different sounding band.
I will say that. Because I talked about that when we did the Grim Reaper episode. I recommended this album because I went and listened to it because I was listening to all this Grim Reaper. And I enjoyed the album. But now going back and checking out the Onslaught discography, it's like a sore thumb. I mean, it's good, but it has nothing to do with the rest of the career of this band. And then when you find out the history about how he was forced on the band by the record label and all this shit, it all makes sense because they recorded this album with Ski, and the record label's like, nah, fuck that, you
Didn't,
know.
didn't Nige talk about that, Ralph? I'm pretty sure. Uh,
Yeah, yep. Psy actually recorded the album. They had like a demo at least recording of it, and then the label they had like a record. All the record people came and listened to it, and they hated it. He said, and then he said that yeah, they basically kind of said here try with him, and they just went along and trying to get a bigger break, I guess, you know. But yeah, that album's cool, like you're saying, but it's like doesn't fit the first two. And especially the first one, it's like way different, but it's cool. It's like a heavy Grim Reaper album. It's cool if you look at it like
I
that. It should
agree.
have been called something else.
I have I interviewed him,
Yeah.
and Ralph just listened to that interview today, and I
They should
remember
have called himself Grim Onslaught. Would have been a cool name for the project.
Onslaught Reaper.
Yeah. No, and I dug it. Like when I listened to it at first, I thought the same thing. I was like, this is a heavy Grim Reaper. And I dug it, you know, and it was a little bit more progressive and everything. But then when I knew we were going to do this album, because I was like, fuck, we got to do the Force because everybody talks about this shit. I don't know it, but I want to check it out. You know, listen to this. And I didn't just listen to this one. I went and listened to Power from Hell and shit. And I listened to the newer shit too. Yeah, this one, that Sanity one sticks out like a fucking sore thumb. Even though I enjoy it, to me, it doesn't sound like a true Onslaught album. But yeah, I wanted to do this one, and I knew, you know, Ralph was familiar with this and had history. But it's been cool. I've listened to this album about probably 6 times, you know, since I decided we were going to review this one. So I feel I got a good grasp on it. Um, but Ralphus, you're a special guest. Why don't you talk to us about like how did you discover Onslaught? What was your first album? What do you think of this one? You know, like a Cliff Notes version because we're going to go song to song. But what do you think of Onslaught?
Great band. Definitely an important band in England at the time. Uh, we were kind of talking about it quickly before we started taping, but like I like after 1984, I just was looking for heavier and heavier stuff. And you just go into the import section and you look for through and try to find anything, a band like Onslaught and that logo right there. And then especially the Power from Hell album cover, it really just jumped out as like something evil. So like at the time I'm finding like Merciful Fate and stuff, I'm finding Onslaught around the same time. And leading up to this, I was a little bit more of the power metal stuff like Hellstar and Omen and Jag Panzer and stuff. I was just getting away from all the old heavy metal classic bands that all let me down when they all started spooging their hair up and they all try to find the success that Motley Crue was having. Because for like a good 2 years, Motley Crue was on the cover of every magazine and they had so many of the hair metal bands following them. But then to see bands like Judas Priest trying to follow it and soon KK Downing going and getting a perm and all this kind of shit, it was like it really opened the doors for what else is out there. Let me, you know, see what else is out there. And that's when I come across Onslaught. And so I get the first album first. And I'm not like I don't have like 100 albums like this at the time. So it was definitely this new wave of like thrash thing that was going on, and I didn't really notice like at the time. But I was kind of getting into punk and hardcore all around the same time as I was getting into the thrash, and I liked a lot of the English hardcore bands like Discharge and Exploited and GBH, and I hear that in Onslaught, and I also hear like a Motorhead kind of vibe in them, and then I also hear like the Venom vibe because they got the evil lyrics. So it was definitely something unique. But because they didn't come to America, that as far as I know, like I didn't really research it, but I don't remember them ever playing like in America. I'm sure they may come over for something, but if they would have came to America around that time, just got on like a tour, one of those thrash tours going around, they would have been so much bigger in America. They never seemed to really break, except for in the really underground. And then, you know, by the time the Force came out, I was like, all right, here's another Onslaught. I didn't even realize it was a different singer when I got it. I thought it was just like he was singing a little different, and the music was like even more satanic, kind of and evil. It seemed. I mean, they mentioned like Satan in like almost every song on the Force, and but I definitely could see there was something different. And then by the time In Search of Sanity came out, I ended up getting that one on cassette. I got the first two on vinyl. I got this on cassette, and then I was kind of like, by the time this came out, I was way more into like the really heavy stuff. So this was like a big disappointment at the time. I liked it later on, but going back to these first two, I they were really important, great albums as I was finding like thrash metal. And if like I said, if they could have got on a Slayer tour or something like that. And in England, they're considered like one of the big four of thrash in England with Sabbath, Acid Rain, and Ventrix. I have this book here called Contract and Blood. It's a pretty thick, nice book. It's called Contract and Blood: A History of UK Thrash Metal. And Contract and Blood um, a fucking
Onslaught song.
onslaught song from the Force album, you know. But this book actually, when it gets to the Onslaught chapter, it's like 20 pages. I was gonna reread it all, and and then I realized, oh shit, they got more on them in this book than like any other band. They had like a pretty big section. It was like 20 pages. I read like seven of them, but yeah, I read that book years ago. But I think that's cool. Like it shows how important they were for them to name the book like after a song by Onslaught. But even right when it starts talking about them in the book, it talks about how like they're the most revered band in the thrash metal, and this is all thrash bands. And it's weird how I try to get these guys to guess who are the other big four, and it's hard because like a lot of the UK thrash bands didn't really break over here. A lot of them didn't tour over here. They might have put out albums that you can get over here, like Zentrix and stuff like that, but you just
Yeah.
didn't see them on tour. And that's such an important thing for back then. If a band doesn't come to America, like you didn't have a reason to keep going back to the album if they're not touring and there's all this other albums coming out. So you're just keeping up with what's going on. But they're definitely very important band in England. And I like how they had like such a punk and hardcore background. And in this book, it talks a little bit about like one of the guys broke his leg because he worked till he went into work at 4 in the morning so he can get out early to catch a show. The show was exploited and discharging somebody else really good. But he got there early and everything, and but he was so tired on the way home he got into a car crash and broke his legs, and he had to like miss work for like 4 months and stuff, you know. But it's cool that they put in that story, and they talk about how big Discharge was like a huge influence on them at the time. And you can kind of hear that like bands like Broken Bones and stuff, you can hear it on that first album, and you can hear it on the second one too. But the second one has a little bit more like they were listening to maybe more Venom and Motorhead, I think, like than the hard straight up hardcore. But that first album's got such evil shit. It's like a satanic hardcore punk band in a weird way. Very unique. Nothing really like them, you know.
Awesome. Well, yeah, like I talked about, and I'll let Ralph go last because I know Ralph has a lot of good stuff to say about this band and how important they are to him. But it was a band I was, aware of, but never checked out. Of course, there's no Onslaught on Headbangers Ball and shit like that. But I would see them in the back of, the metal magazines, and you guys remember like, if it wasn't Hit Parade, or remember in the back, like half would be in color and half would be in black and white. And they would have all the shit for the t-shirts, in the back. There would always be Onslaught shit. And I remember seeing a lot of ads around the time that, In Search of Sanity came out. And I didn't even realize that they have, the dude from Grim Reaper at the time. I just know it was heavily produced. And then you never heard about him again, because they broke up, but I didn't know, you know. But over the years, you would keep seeing the same thing, like ads for an Onslaught T-shirt and all this stuff, and people talking about them. So it really inspired me, for this episode because there is so much shit. As much shit as I know, there's so much shit that I don't know. I've got like, what is it, like 20,500 albums, in my catalog. I can't get to everything. A lot of stuff I'm like, I got that. I'll listen to it later. But now I'm at a spot where we have like so much few new shit that's coming out that is worth a shit. Like, let me go back and check out this stuff I've been putting on the back burner. So that's what inspired me to go back and check this out. But primarily it was the Grim Reaper one that made me go check out. As I'm doing, for every episode, I always try to find out all the shit I can, so I'm doing Grim Reaper and like, oh yeah, it was an Onslaught. So in between listening to that album, I'm checking out the fucking Onslaught album. I'm like, well, let me go back and check out the other shit. Let's do a fucking episode on that, Let's, nobody's going to listen to this shit. This is going to be right there with Jody Grind. I can tell you as far as like listens and, shit like that, but I don't give a fuck, man. Let's talk about some real shit. But it's cool, like knowing that, you're on here, way more than me and have much more of a history. But then the more I found out about how important this band was to Ralph, I was like, wow, okay, definitely we got to do that band. So Ralph, why don't you go into how you found this band and what they mean to you and the impact they had?
Well, I used to go to an import shop to buy all my underground metal because that's all I was into in 85, 86. I was exclusively just finding, the most underground, but metal. Now it's ridiculous to think of Venom as underground or Raven or Tokyo Blade. All that stuff is pretty well known now. But back then it was obscure. And Onslaught was one of the many bands, and it was that one. It was Powers of Hell, and it was one of those things. It was the album cover that sold me. But most of the time when I would go into these import shops, I would always walk out with albums that I didn't know. And when I saw this, and I got another album back here. Look, I got an Omen album. When I saw this, and of course, I flip it around, I see the pentagram. Oh, there's a pentagram in the front too. But I see the pentagram right here, and I see these fucking titles like Skull Crusher and Damnation and Angel of Death. I just saw this shit. This is pre-Rain and Blood, by the way. And I was like, fuck, I gotta buy this. And yeah, on the back it says death metal on the back of this album. And yeah, and there's a song on here called Death Metal. But that's how I got that, and then I got The Force. But oddly enough, I didn't buy The Force till like several years after its release. Because I couldn't see it. I couldn't find it anywhere. But then I finally found it. I bought it. And, I bought it in Search of Sanity. But it was this album right here that changed my life. This album called Kill in Peace. I've told this story a million times, but I'll say it again. I had my original guitar player wanted to start a thrash band. He told me this. I was never in a band. I never wanted to be in a band. And I was like, good luck, finding a band and finding band members, And I went to this store. It was only metal. It was called Metal Inc. And I go, oh, look, new Onslaught. I'll take a chance on this. And I popped it in my CD player in the car, driving home. And when I heard the song Killing Peace, when the guy yells, spitting blood in the face of God, I was like, fuck, dude, I can do that. I can sing like this, So I called my friend back and I said, dude, let's start a band. So it's because of this album I started Thrash or Die. And when I had Nige on my show, I told him that. You're responsible for me touring the world.
Wow.
Absolutely. Very special band to me.
That surprises me because I listened to that like after I was listening to, the original era of Onslaught. I was like, I had the later albums and I listened to Killing Peace. And to me, I was like, well, it was very like of the time to me as far as it sounded very modern. It didn't sound like throwback. And I was curious to see what I didn't know this. I didn't know this story about you. So I was curious to see what your opinion was of that era of Onslaught, and to know that like the modern era, to me, I mean, what was it, 2007 or some shit like that,
Yeah, but it wasn't the modern. It was the vocals. That was it. The
Right.
vocals was what inspired me to start.
Okay.
It wasn't how the album sounded. No, I don't think it's as good as the first two.
Okay.
I like it. I do like it. I gotta say though, I pulled this out too. This is my favorite Onslaught album with the later stuff. Generation.
Oh, with the other singer.
This shit is amazing.
Wow. I thought you would hate that album.
No. Check out the song "Religious Suicide" and
Okay.
"Bow Down to the Clown." Bow down.
That's the song. That's the song. That's the song that you played. The religious suicide is the song you played at the end of your interview with Nige.
Well, oh, I played "Bow Down to the Clowns."
No, you played religious suicide.
Oh, yeah,
But
and it's such a badass song.
but that's the first one with the other singer, right? The David dude. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't think you would like that shit.
Oh, I love this album. This is my favorite after the first two.
Wow. Interesting.
Generation Antichrist. It's fucking awesome. Every song on here was awesome. And when I got the interview because of Wayne. You said, Ralphus. Wayne got me.
Well, you thanked them in the beginning of it. Yeah, I think so.
Right. Well, yeah, because I don't remember how I got him on my show. And that show doesn't. You said you subscribed to the show. That show doesn't exist anymore. I stopped doing Vieira Vault a long time ago because YouTube takes too much of my time. That I can't. I can do like a podcast like this, like once a week or so, but I can't do 2 podcasts a week. You know what I mean? So
Can you take those old videos and add them into your channel? Like, to say, here's VR Vault on the Almost Human channel and just repost those videos so that way you're still getting people watching them.
I should definitely do that. I will do that. I'll rip them
I
all.
seen you had a ton of stuff. You was like 90 episodes. I was just like flipping through. I was like, oh, I gotta go back and watch or listen to some of these.
There is a YouTube channel too of Vieira Vault.
So that's what I was on. That's what I was on, is on YouTube.
Yeah. So yeah, I will throw them all on my channel eventually. But yeah, I mean, I get so many donations on my channel that every day I got several videos to put up.
Yeah.
Clutter of just today, man. I got 5 donations from one guy. So yeah, I'm gonna be busy, and I already have videos set up till not this Wednesday, the following Wednesday. So I got like 2 weeks of news, track by tracks, all this shit every fucking day. I never miss a day, man. But I'm also retired. You gotta remember, I'm retired, and I get a lot of my shit, during the.
I remember when we first started doing the podcast, when you were working, you were trying to find time on the night shift to edit and upload videos while you were working and shit.
Yeah,
it's crazy. We've been doing this shit for so long now.
Yeah, I used to sneak out of work, come home, because I had the night shift. I'd tell my worker, hey, call me if anything. Go home, edit the show, send it to Ian, go back to work.
Yeah.
I was getting paid by the city of Miami Beach to edit episodes.
Nice.
All right. Well, since I'm the new guy to this, I'm going to take the first track to this one, and that is Let There Be Death. Okay, so I'm checking this out. I put it on. The first thing I hear is like, wow, this is kind of a primitive recording. Since I first started listening to this album, I did go back and I obtained a remastered copy of this. Sounds a little bit better, but not a whole ton better. But I'm listening to this and I'm like, okay, I'm digging this. I like this riff. I like the raw song. I'm not totally against raw production, but this is some like raw fucking shit. It's kicking in. Everything's pulsing. I'm like, so far so good. I'm like, this is some good fucking shit. Please don't let the singer fuck this up, because that's what I was worried about. Um, a prime case is the shirt that Ralph is wearing. Violence, a band where I like the music, love the music, and then the singer came on and like checked the fuck out. Like, I'm done. This shit's horrible. I'm hoping this isn't.
Yeah,
gonna
that's
happen.
awesome. I'm 100% with you on that. I have to jump in because I hear people just praising Violence all the time. I seen him open up for Voivod on the Dimension H Ross tour. I thought the music was fucking awesome. That fucking vocalist, man. Every time I used to see his video on Headbangers Ball, we used to just make fun of it. And all my friends at the time, we all thought they sucked. And it's so weird because they just disappear, and then all these years later, they come back as like this cult hero band, and people worship them. And it's like good for them, But I could never get past the vocals. The vocals
I
fucking
worship,
drove me nuts.
I worship Sean Kelly's vocals.
I've heard you say
Yeah,
you love them. I,
yeah.
I, I know you
I,
love
No,
them. I know
I
you're
don't
not
like.
alone though. I know a lot of people that love them.
I love.
it,
I,
it,
I worship him. I worship. Rob Flynn said it in the Violence documentary. Either you hate him or you worship him. You don't like him. Oh, he's all right. You either worship him or you hate him. Same thing with
now,
King.
We loved the music. We all thought the music was good, but those vocals, like we just the way he would go like high and low and high. We used to make fun of it, like and just make up words and try to go along with it.
oh
But
yeah,
it's a unique vocal. Like you could totally. It's kind of like the guy from Sabbath from England. If you hear his vocals,
Yeah.
some people probably hate his vocals, but he's so unique that right away you know who it is. So that's how. At least I thought usually a good thing, but I just couldn't get past the vocal.
Look at King Diamond. How many
yeah.
people say I love the music, but I can't stand King Diamond? And
Oh no,
Yeah, yep.
I was the same way when I first heard it. Could not stand it, but now I love King Diamond's vocals. Another one, much like Ralphus was talking about, the first time I heard Overkill, I'm like, oh, love the music, and then I heard Blitz, and I was like, oh, fuck this. And me and my friends used to make fun of it. And now, like Overkill, it's like it goes back and forth between them and Slayer, who's my favorite thrash band, you know. Love Overkill. But with this, I was kind of scared of that because I knew Ralph liked it. I'm like, is this going to be some fucking violent shit? So it kicks in. Then I hear the singer, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do, because he sounded like Kronos to me. It sounded like some Venom. I'm like, okay, nice. I like this. It's rough and ready. I mean, it's nothing like groundbreaking musically. You can tell this band, loves Metallica, But I'm like, okay, this is some kick-ass shit. I dig it. I like the vocals. And then I heard that dumbass scream, like when he changed his vocals. And I'm like, oh, fuck, God damn it, But it didn't ruin the song for me because like 90% of like the vocals on this song I loved. But when he did like he would change it into that like, trying to do King Diamond kind of shit, I'm like, I can do without that. But overall the song was so fucking good and and the music was so good. It wasn't like an immediate cancel. I dug the song and I'm like, I'm going to stick in here, but he needs to stop doing that. But when he would start doing that, like, I just, it's like a dog. You grab up a rolled up newspaper and you hit him on the stump, like, no, stop that. Stop that because you're doing good on the other vocals, but stay in your fucking lane and stop that. Keep going with the Kronos vocals. God damn it. Now, keep in mind, at this point, I hadn't heard the first album because that's going to come into play a lot later in this episode, how I feel about the vocals on the first album compared to this one. But overall, great fucking song. I mean, horrible production. It sounds like the guy who produced this is the guy who hit, like, record on a boombox. and the singers at the house next door. The production's not too good on this fucking album, but the music is good. I mean, it's good. Like, oh, if you like that early, thrash and that mid '80s thrash, it's all there. It's all there. And overall, I do love the song. What do you think, Count Ralphus?
Yeah, so great thrashing lead off track. Real satanic lyrics. I like the song title, Let There Be Death. Psych Healer with those shrieking high pitched vocals thrown in is all I wrote down as my notes. But yeah, it's that's where you kind of go, oh wait, this is not on the first album. You don't hear any of these kind of high pitched vocals. But at the time, a lot of thrash bands, like even Slayer, would have a couple parts with the high pitched screams,
Yep.
and Destruction had these crazy high pitched squeals, but they didn't overuse it. I think makes it a little too much, maybe into like every song or so, But
Yeah.
yeah, it's something that was definitely made it different than the first. But when he's not doing the high pitched vocals, I think it's great. But even I don't even have a problem with the high pitched vocals. It's just maybe a little overdone. I wish he would just like kind of do it more sparingly and makes it a little more unique. Don't make it like part of your thing that you do every song, your pattern or whatever. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a really good song.
Couldn't agree more. What do you think, Ralph?
I think he should have done more high pitched vocals, if you ask me. I'm serious. I love those high pitched vocals he does. I love that shit. I have there's a song I wrote called Fist Fucking Metal, where I had this there's a black thrash band I was friends with, and I had him sing the chorus of Fist Fucking Metal, and I told him, I want you to do sigh screams, because he knows all about the Force. I want you to sound like Psy singing that. And when he goes, you look, Fist Fucking Metal, you look concerned. He goes, Fist Fucking Metal, you look concerned. He does that Psy thing. I fucking love that. And I love the sound of the album. I have no problem with that poverty production. After all, I love Hotter Than Hell. I love the sound of dirty fucking metal, especially the inception of thrash, which, if you ask me, in my opinion, really peaked in '86. After '86, not that it gotten worse, great thrash after that. But the best thrash, Rain and Blood, fucking Master of Puppets, everything up to '86. That to me is the peak. And this stuff, these two albums, is right up there with that, I absolutely love this opening track. And I got to tell you, this song is another thing about this song. It inspired me a lot when I wrote the lyrics to this song. I wrote called Headbangers from Hell, because I wanted to capture what Onslaught did in this song, which what they did was they sang satanic lyrics, but in a very simple form, a very, very easy to understand how you love Satan. You don't have to get all technical and all this shit. No, in my song, I'm like, the devil is my master, laughing in the dark, stab you with the pitchfork, will leave the devil's mark. That's simplistic shit, and it shows you that I love Satan, and I love that about this song. That's what and this song is the most simplistic lyrically song on the album about Satan. But and Ralph will tell you, man, listen, when I interview that Nige guy, god damn, he's got a really, really hard on for religion. Boy, he's not a fan. Let's just say that. He really doesn't like that shit. But anyway, the next one is called Metal Forces.
Yeah.
And man, the riffs on this are awesome. They're almost like Rocky Rolly. They're not, but then it gets all thrashy and crazy. And of course, the lyrics, Ian laughs at this, because it's the whole Manowar philosophy. But I love that shit. It's escaping realism with your whole I can't talk about true metal because I'm more sophisticated than that. Whatever, man. I love when people praise metal. I love it more than fucking people praising where's my wig because I'm fucked up on heroin like fucking Jane's Addiction. Excuse me. Excuse me. You like your weird shit, I like mine. Metal Forces rules. Great song on the album. That's what I think.
All right, Ralphus.
Yeah, I loved it too. And right away, I think of the magazine from back then in the 80s, right when I started getting into underground shit. It was like Kick Ass Magazine and Metal Forces.
I
And there was
remember.
a couple other ones. There was a couple other good ones out there too, but they were like Art Shock, where it'd be like a German magazine and you would buy it anyway if you could find it. And all the interviews would be in German, but they would have sick pictures that you wouldn't get in American magazines. But yeah, Metal Forces right away. I think of the great magazine from the 80s. And yeah, just like he was saying about the solo really stands out in this one, and it's more satanic lyrics. And this album, I hadn't listened to it like in so long that I was like, let me read the lyrics again because I probably haven't read the lyrics since the 80s, you know. So I pulled out my vinyl with the lyrics in there, and fucking super satanic. Like even though it's a Metal Forces song, like a metal song, but they find a way to praise Satan in this song too. But and that's one of the things. There's only two songs in here that don't have the word Satan in it, so I think that even beats like Merciful Fate albums. You know, it's like, and then the songs that don't have it are like still like evil as hell songs. But yeah, those pretty blatantly easy to remember lyrics and stuff, and just kind of like fun, drunken, fucked up lyrics. I don't think they were too much into like reading up on the occult. They're not like the Morbid Angel lyrics where you don't really even know what the hell they're talking about because they get their lyrics from these crazy books that no one else has read about the cult and stuff. But it's just simple and straight to the point, and really fun, cool shit.
Awesome. All right. Well, all right. This track to me, slamming fucking metal, but that fucking scream, is back, and to me, worse than before on the first song. And I know, like, Ralph's favorite band from the '80s. He's always said is Merciful Fate. Um, Ralph is like when you first heard like King Diamond, was that something you like immediately got, or is that something you had to work on? Like you had to get adjusted to it?
That's a good question. It's like to me, with Merciful Fate was how evil it all was, and just how evil the vibe was, and how evil it sounded. So I wasn't thinking of it as being like a high, annoying voice. To me, it was just evil, and it didn't sound like a human. It was. So I think I was more fascinated instantly. First time I heard them, they were like dangerous a band to like and listen to, just because like I was going to religious instruction as a kid, and I got into like Merciful Fate before I got into Slayer. So they were like one of the first bands that I was like really seeing like this evil lyrics or really the song titles. I didn't know what the lyrics were right away till I owned the albums and stuff. And even then they didn't always have like the lyrics printed on them and stuff. But yeah, that just the vibe of it all, I was totally fascinated with, and I think it just sucked me in. And I knew that no one liked them, and I think if anybody else tried to be like them, I would find it annoying. I would find it annoying if
Right.
Striper was like, "Well, all right, we're going to compete with them, and we're going to sing that high too, but it's going to be all about Jesus." I probably would have fucking found it so annoying.
Well, that's what I'm kind of getting at with this is because King Diamond was definitely something that it took me years after my first initial listen to accept and to get into, and now I love it. I love when King does it. Not so much when other bands do it, but I deal with when King does it, it works for me somehow. But a lot of these other bands, and like on this track in particular, when he does that like high shit, I'm like, like Ralph loves to make fun of my love for Testament. He calls them Disney thrash, you know. And to me, on a song like this, I call it Zach Wild thrash because I love Zach Wild as a guitar player, but every time he does those pinch harmonics, I'm like, stop doing that so much. It's fucking annoying. You know, it's like you could really play good guitar, and then you do this. You know, it's like, and it's overkill. That's how I kind of
It's
feel with the
too much.
vocals on this. It's like it's too much and it's unnecessary. It's like you're doing so good. Why are you adding this shit to it? You know, so uh,
I can only think it's because he's trying to separate himself from the first singer.
oh
Because
well,
they're sort of similar until he
yeah.
does the high voice. If he didn't do the high vocals, you really wouldn't know if he was just singing a little different from the first album. But
Right, but I also get like the time frame. Like, okay, you know, Merciful Fate is, you know, has a good following at this time, you know, and there's also like even if you look at Steve Grimmett or whatever, you know, from Grim Reaper, you know, he would go into that higher register, but I think it was a smoother transition. You know, this guy goes from sounding like Kronos to, you know,
yeah,
King Diamond,
almost like two singers. It almost sounds like two
yeah,
different
yeah,
singers.
it's jarring and it sounds unnatural. Like if he sings in like the fucking Chrono style, I'm there for it all day. When he does the transition, I'm like, I don't know about that, you know.
Yeah,
But still, the music I love. I love, and it's not like it's not enough to make me, you know, hit stop, but it's enough to like God damn it, you don't need this shit. You know, it's kind of like, uh, to me, it's no different than fucking KK Downing perming his hair. That vocally, it's like that. It's like you don't need this. Just stay doing what you're doing. You know, you don't need this fucking bullshit. You know, you're fine just doing what you're doing. But then we go in the next track, which is, I would say, my favorite on the album, "Fighting the Beast." Oh hell yeah! Oh, do I love this song? But then I'm curious: did Metallica sue over this song? Because holy shit, you can hear some fucking Metallica on this one.
You can hear
Yeah.
Metallica on every thrash band, dude. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
oh yeah, but some more than others. There's certain songs on here you hear a little bit of fucking like Slayer influence, but on this song, holy shit, this
for
is
me, it's
almost.
all Exodus on this one. I wrote it down
Oh,
as Exodus. I didn't even
really?
think of Metallica. I
I was,
thought of Exodus.
I was about to say that. To me, this reminds me of Bonded by Blood. Uh,
It's
Uh,
like Strike of the
I
Beast, Fight with the Beast,
I
Strike of
don't
the
know.
Beast.
I hear in this one, dude. I hear that Metallica crunch, like
Well,
almost
that Exodus had
plagiarism.
that too.
Exodus had
Right.
a punch too.
But
Kirk Hammett was in next.
but no, I love this one. I love this one. Just lose that scream, you know. But god damn, what a kick ass song. This, I mean, this is like fucking ooh. You know, and I love when I can find like something, you know, old like this, you know, that everybody else knows but me. I guess everybody, you know, like in on the, you know, that knows all the cool old shit. You know, this is something that missed me. But when I hear this, I'm like, oh fuck, this is a kick ass track. Definitely my favorite on the album. What do you think, Ralph?
Yeah, it's my favorite. Always been my favorite song off the album.
Nice.
The insane riffage on it and the insane speed. Holy crap, to fight with the beast. I love that shit. Fighting with the beast, not shouting at the devil, shouting with the devil. You know what I'm saying? Fucking and that's another thing that I forgot to mention. We were talking about Merciful Fate a lot. They're the same shit. And this is the time, the satanic panic. This is why this shit wasn't in every record store back then. Because a lot of people wouldn't this shit because it was just way too satanic. And boy, the more satanic it was, the more I loved it. And I don't believe in Satan. I don't believe it. I mean, I did read the Satanic Bible. That's as far as I got. But it's all hogwash to me. But again, like Manowar with Conan and the Steel and Die for True Metal shit, I get the same charge and fuck yeah, let's drink the baby's blood. You know, Let's fight with the beast. It's all fantasy. And again, hey, some people like Dungeons and Dragons. I like, satanic imagery and fucking and dying for metal. I love it. It gives my soul a charge because I'm fucking metal, man. I've said it a million times. I may like how snobby people are. Well, I don't just listen to metal. I listen to rap. I listen to this. But you know what? I do too. But you'll never hear. You know what I'll say to that? Yeah, you know what? I listen to other forms of music, not metal. But guess what? All those forms of music take a back seat to heavy fucking metal. I'm a metalhead and goof on it all you want. At the end of the day, you're not metal like me. So therefore, I pity you, bitch. That's what I think of this song.
Yeah, die with your AIDS.
Hell yeah.
Ralphus?
So yeah, so what I wrote down was Exodus type riffing. The title makes me think of Strike of the Beast. Even the mosh parts remind me of songs off of Bonded by Blood. It has like that kind of Bonded by Blood, the slow chugging parts, And then Satan gets another shout out. And like he was just saying about these silly kind of like satanic lyrics. To me, it was like, yeah, when we were kids and we were drunk, it wasn't like we were really being Satanist. Satan was a anti-hero, it's just a symbol of rebellion. And I
Well,
read all the books and stuff, and I tried to get deeper into it. I read everything I could get my hands on, but I just always loved those kind of lyrics like that. They're really the most rebellious shit, especially if you were going to like religious instructions like I was as a kid and going to church like when I was real young.
it was the best because in the 80s, at that time, we had preachers talking down to us, letting us know what we like is wrong, and it was a way of rebelling. And what better way to rebel with kick ass music with killer satanic lyrics? That's the
Yeah.
best way to rebel over these fucking Bible thumpers. So I fucking loved it. I loved it. That's why I love Satan in music more. And I am a Striper fan. I am very ashamed of that. But
As
honestly,
you should be.
hey, but you like the Cure, okay? So my point is, I don't get the same charge
Jeez.
as Striper does when they sing about Jesus. That's why I like later Striper more because they insinuate Jesus without naming him. If you say Jesus in a song, I don't get that charge when you say Satan in a song. You know?
What do they say? JC now? They go JC.
Yeah.
Jesus is just all right with me. Yeah.
They say
JC.
they call him my nigga.
Hey, Ralphus, did you leave us a comment on the video? I think it was like your YouTube handle. Did you give us a review where like you thought the episode was great until Ralph and I started talking about Michael Jackson?
Oh, probably. Yeah, yeah,
Was
yeah. I
that-
think I lied. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't
Oh,
like.
both these guys. Well, I didn't know you like the Cure and stuff like that. But I'm sure you got a lot of bands that. But I don't think these guys would find as many bands like in my collection that you can make fun of like that. You never have Michael Jackson in my fucking
No,
house or
I just
any
thought the
rap.
review was funny. You're like, what a great episode till you two fucking homos start talking about Michael Jackson.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's the one thing I love that Ralph. You can make fun of whatever we like, and we don't fucking care. So some people get all fucking butthurt. We don't give a fuck.
I
Oh
want
yeah.
to.
People take it personal.
I want to show you guys something. You see this?
Bathory.
Yeah, this is my favorite Bathory album. It's called Blood, Fire, Death.
Really? That's your favorite?
Yeah. And
Wow.
That is a great one.
Ralphus, you like Bathory?
Yeah.
You can't goof on me because of Bathory, bro.
Oh no, I love Battery. I love that album. That album's probably my second favorite.
All
I
right.
love
Well,
the
now I'll have to show you something where you will goof on me. Barry Manilow, even now.
Oh, what's the hits on that one? I like some Barry
Even
Manilow.
now that I have come so far. Copacabana's on this. I don't
Oh my
like that
God.
song. I'll admit, I don't like that song. But I
I
like
re-
it now.
my best friend in high school, his mom, she used to freak out because we hung out like all the time. We were like never separated. And she was worried that we were gay. But the funny thing is, we were just banging chicks like left and right, like fucking killing all this pussy. But she thought we were fucking gay because we were never apart. And I was digging through her record collection one day, and I'm looking, and then I saw a Barry Manilow record, and I was like, "Ooh, Barry Manilow! I love Barry Manilow." And the look on her face, I didn't know this till years later that she thought we were gay. But there was a look of horror, like, I knew it. They're fucking gay. Fucking Barry Manilow.
Oh no, but you gotta admit, Barry Manilow is pure fucking AIDS. You gotta admit that. I love it, but
Oh yeah.
that shit is riddled with AIDS.
But at the time I listened to Barry Manilow when I was that young, I didn't even know what AIDS was. I didn't know what gay sex was. 'Cause I didn't have any Kiss records at that point.
You
You
know,
know?
you know what my favorite Barry Manilow song is? From the movie Foul Play with Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn.
Oh yeah, that's a good song.
Ready to take good chance again.
Ready to take a chance
That's my
again.
favorite Barry Manilow
Do you
song.
know? Do you know that Foul Play is now on 4K? You got to get that
No,
shit.
no, and
Yes.
I have it on Blu-ray, but yeah, I gotta fix
Yeah,
it.
Kino Lorber put that out on 4K.
I'm gonna get it right after the show.
All right.
All right, let's continue. Let's get away from the AIDS music and
All
continue.
right. Enough AIDS. I'll take the next song. We're gonna flip this motherfucker over and go to side two, which is it Demoniac? Is that how you pronounce this shit?
Demoniac. Oh wait,
Demoniac.
maybe not. Demoniac. Yeah.
I thought it was demonic.
Oh yeah.
No,
Maybe,
it's
let
not.
me see.
No, it's not demonic. It's demoniac, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
demonic.
it's Demoniac. Demoniac, like the Testament
Demonic.
album.
Okay. Kick-ass way to start side two. But that being said, I have the same complaints and the same compliments. Love the riffage, love the fucking thrash, but man, when he changes those vocals, it just takes me out of it. And I guess now is a good time as any to talk about how, after I listened to this album, I think twice, I was like, let me go back and check out the first album because it's kind of weird if you look at the history of this band. The first album, the vocals were done by the guy who plays bass on this. Or no, he plays guitar on this album, but he played bass on the first album, but sang Paul Mahoney. So that's the guy who sings on Power from Hell. Those vocals I like a lot more. And it's funny because it's kind of similar in the fact that it sounds kind of like Kronos from Venom. So if you like Venom and you like those vocals, it's in that wheelhouse. Dug it a lot more. If you look at the music, I love like the thrashiness aspect of the Force more. I think it's better musically, but I love Power from Hell because it kicks ass because it is like fucking thrashy, but the vocals overall are like that same style. It's the guy singing like that. There's never the it's just like none of the AIDS. It's just like and that's what I like about Powers from Hell, man. Is that it's that same vocal tone. It's right in that Venom wheelhouse. If you like black metal and Welcome to Hell and shit like that, you're gonna love fucking Power from Hell. With this one, it gets a little bit, better musically, a little bit more thrashier, but you got to deal with the fucking bullshit. Where man, if you just did away with that, it'd be so much better. And then when I watched the video, I talked about it in the news. They just did their first show since they got Sky back in the band, and these motherfuckers, I mean, fuck, you know, they're Ralph's age, if not older, you know, so they're in their 60s or late 50s. I'm in my early 50s. Ralphus, I think you're in between or whatever. But anyway, so the guy's singing, and he does like the classic shit. Sounds fucking phenomenal. And you can tell when he goes to do like the highs, but they're not as high, but it sounds so much better. It's so much better because it sounds more natural and less like, ah, you know, fucking bullshit. You know, it's just like, you know. But I loved it. It worked. And the one I saw was, you know, my favorite track off the album, you know, the Beast song and shit, you know. And I'm like, oh, this shit sounds great. Like he sounds so much better doing it like this, but it's the limitations of age. You know, he can't do what he did before.
I wonder if it is, or if it just maybe he even like had heard like people say stuff like what you're saying.
I
You know,
mean,
maybe as years went on, he's like, I just try to tone it down a little.
I does not listen to idiots.
I think it's probably a combination of both. I mean, I think it was kind of like it was of the time. Like I can't judge. Like if I'm looking at this shit objectively, I can't like blame the guy for doing this because King Diamond's doing it. You know, there's a Merciful Fate. I mean, there's other singers doing this. Even if you listen to like fucking Grim Reaper, you know, he would go into another register on certain points, but he had a much better. It was like a smoother transition into that other register than it is when Sky does it. You know, or Psy, whatever the fuck his name is. You know what I mean? It just sounded there's too much of a juxtaposition there. For
Well,
my
Tom Araya and the Schmear from Destruction, they both were like that. They went
oh
from
yeah,
one thing to totally different, but they just didn't overdo it, I think, is what.
oh yeah,
what
yeah. No,
they feel.
but that was a big thing. But again, like you know, Schmear and fucking Tom Araya, I got into it at a younger age, so it was kind of like a transition. Like a first initial listen, like I hated Slayer the first time I heard him. You know, it took me a while to get into it. This is something I'm listening to now at 51 years old. You know, I don't have the history you guys do, you know, the forgiveness and all this shit. This is just like fresh. And like how I'm hearing it is how I'm hearing it now. There's no, you know, Monday morning quarterback. There's no like I grew up with this shit. I'm just saying how it hits me now. When he's in the lower register, I fucking love it. I love it. When he does that, it fucking takes me out. But a good song is a good song. The guitars are fucking killer. You know, the drums are killer. All this other shit, no complaints. I mean, should have better production. But then again, that's hard to say because the next song, or I'm sorry, the next album is very well produced, but it doesn't have the rawness of this. So you lose some there too, you know.
And the
What
first
fuck are you
album
gonna
was
do?
more raw than this album, you know. The first
Yeah,
album was more raw. Second album's a little bit better as far as like sound wise, but like I mean, to anybody's ears is all different. But like you're saying, then the third album, it's way slicker. So all
yeah,
three albums have a different production, but the first two are definitely closer than the third one.
yeah. And then you go to like the reunion albums, and it's like a third rate Pantera to my
Well, it's
ears,
the
you
the the
know.
modern the modern production that millions of
Exactly.
bands get.
Exactly. But if you listen to his vocals, like Psy's vocals on the reunion albums, there's not as much as the, you know, he keeps it in the lower register because it's more of the time, you know,
Yeah.
it's more of that shit. And you get older. When you get older, you can't do all that shit. But I think that benefits, not takes away. But anyway, I dig that track. What do you think, Ralph, of fuck? I'm demoniac, demonic,
Demoniac.
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 I
It's
love
like a It's like a Pontiac, but different.
Yeah. Driven by demons.
Yeah,
I love it. I love how it starts with the little spooky keyboards. Then it goes into the full thrash assault. Tell you, this is the music that really carried me. Like, what would I rather listen to? This or parental guidance from Priest? You know, it's like shit fucking rules. Absolutely love it. What's the next song? Uh,
I didn't do that song yet.
oh, go ahead. Demoniac.
This real quick is that yeah, they forget to shout out Satan on this song. It's the first one where Satan doesn't get mentioned, but it does reference demons, human sacrifice, and the Church of Hell, and it's probably the most evil song on there, even though they don't sing about Satan. They don't say his name, but also great guitar solos. That's it. Okay, next one.
Yeah, go ahead. Go take the next one.
Flame of the Antichrist, great atmospheric intro in the beginning. I thought that was really awesome. Before the thrashing really starts, and the way he phrases the lyrics reminds me a lot of Tom Araya at this point. Now it's like on this song, he's like punching, like you could tell, like he's definitely been listening to some of the early Slayer stuff. It definitely seems influenced there. Exodus and Slayer on this song are the two bands that stand out to me the most. But I think it's a great song. Maybe one of the best songs for me on the album. I would say if I had to pick one song, it's probably this song, "Flame of the Antichrist," my favorite song.
Yeah, I love the doomy intro to it, and when it goes like the crunchy shit when it gets heavy and fast, it's fucking amazing, man. And yeah, I love it. The vicious, crunchy riffs. I love it. It goes full blast, and none of that parental guidance, elementary Sesame Street music here. This is
We
what
don't need no parental guidance here.
every time you look at me, you always say, "Hey, hey," and
Oh, man.
right back at you and say we both got AIDS. All right. Uh, what a fucking song. Love Flame of the Antichrist. Probably my second favorite on the album. 7 minute metallic opus. He should have did some more highs though.
All right. You both talked about this one?
Yeah.
All right. So weird. So weird. Ralph and I both agree about our favorite song on the album, and we both agree about our second favorite song on the album. I love this one.
You know why?
Holy,
You know
why?
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 Because we both have AIDS.
I wish. I wish. It sounds funner than it was epic, you know? Um, this song fucking kicks ass. This song kicks ass. And spoiler alert right now, this should have ended the album. I think this would have been a fucking monumental closer because this is a fucking epic track. Even though I gotta say, goddamn, I'm still bad with the titles because I'm learning. Fighting with the Beast is my favorite, but I mean this one is right fucking there with Fighting the Beast. I think this should have ended the fucking album. I love this song. Where's my notes? Kicks ass, but again, if I had a note, kill the king. And by the king, kill the King Diamond fucking shit. Leave the King Diamond shit to King Diamond. But I love this fucking song. It's fucking killer. I'll take the next track, which is Contract in Blood. The same name as the book that Count Ralph has had. I will say this is my least favorite song on the album, but I still love it. So that's a pretty good fucking sign when, your least favorite track, you still fucking dig. To me, and again, I'm just discovering this album. I've heard it like maybe 5 or 6 times. Shit could change. But as of right now, it's my least favorite, but I still think it's a killer fucking track. You know, it would be killer filler. You know, this is not no wild nights and hot and crazy days. You know, this is a great fucking song. It just happens to be my least favorite. What do you think, Ralph?
I think it's my third favorite. this is this
Wow.
this is the most satanic song on the album. It's brutally satanic. If you really do listen to the lyrics, it'd make an awesome movie. It'd make an awesome horror movie. I think it's fucking awesome. I think it's very close second, if you ask me. Uh, Absolutely love Contract and Blood. What do you think, Ralphus?
Yeah, just what I wrote down too. Another very satanic song. The whole album is evil. Yeah, another great one. Uh, yeah, just fitting. They definitely have like almost like concept like through the whole album. Like every song is somehow kind of evil. I think the next song is like the only one that really doesn't just go on full on Satan kind of thing. But this one definitely was a real evil one. I love it.
All
Yeah,
right, we'll take the last track.
Uh, Thrash till death, thrash or die. Minus the high shrieking vocal parts. This feels very Exodus Bonded by Blood era again to me, like the other one, like Fight of the Beast there. Um, yeah, this it has that just like I feel like they were being influenced more by the Bay Area sound, and on the first album, I think they were being influenced by the UK hardcore punk sound and Venom and Motorhead. But I think with this, they definitely like maybe it's the person putting out the album saying, "Hey, try to be a little more like these American bands," And I mean, it definitely made them big over there in England, but it just, I think the lack of touring in America and just not getting out here, is what made them not become a household name. I mean, bands like Destruction and Creator were getting over here. Why wasn't Onslaught? I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe they played here and I just never heard about it or nothing. But I can't remember them ever playing in America. I should have Googled that before we did this episode. But I
they
think it really
probably
hurt them.
they probably played one of those like Milwaukee Metal Fest type things.
Yeah, maybe in the '90s or the '2000s or
Yeah, but
something.
not back when this came out.
Yeah,
No,
they. I don't remember them ever touring.
no,
And
back then, no, back then I know they were never here.
in this book, I know that they got like some flyers of some like um pretty cool stuff that they were doing over there. It was here's one. It's Agent Steel, Onslaught, Nuclear Assault, and Atomic Craft. That would have been a cool tour to come to America.
Boy, do I love me some Agent Steel.
And Atomic Craft
I
is
need to check them out. Don't they have a
Tony
weird
Dolan.
singer though too?
Huh?
Yeah,
I
well,
said,
it's got like that kind of power metal kind of singer.
yeah.
With like
I mean,
the
I know I
thrashes.
have their discography, but I haven't. I think I checked out one song and I was like, oh, kind
I,
of.
I worship like fucking those early ones, man. Matt,
Yeah.
that EP, fucking Unstoppable Force. I got all that shit. I love me some.
Well, maybe we'll check that out on a future episode. But Ralph, what do you think of the last track?
Before that, I gotta say, Masters of Metal, Agents of Steel. All right, what's the last song? All right, Ralph, let's talk about the last song. Oh no, you
No,
did.
he
I
just
already
did.
did. Thrash till death. You copied your title of your band kind of after that.
Yeah. See, they inspired me again. Subliminally, I called my band Thrash or Die because of this song. I love it. I love like the rest of this album, but this song is kind of a little more than the other ones, where it's kind of like this is thrash with no preservatives. It's embryonic thrash. It hasn't been refined yet, and to me, that's the greatest thrash. Like those early Creator albums, man, are my favorites. And Destruction, Infernal Overkill. Um, uh, oh my God,
Eternal devastation, release from agony.
Endless Pain. That Endless Pain is my favorite Creator album because of how dirty it is. You know, total death, shit like that. This song reminds me of that dirty, but just hey, look, this is a new form of music, and look what we're doing with it. It's their spin on it, I do hear, like, I didn't mention the first song reminds me a lot of the song Kill Again off Hell Awaits. I hear a lot of Hell Awaits on Let There Be Death. But this song, I just hear where I think Onslaught is being themselves, trying to do the spin on this new form of music and doing it so amazing that I can understand people like Ian doesn't get it, because by the time Ian heard it, it wasn't new anymore. It was like they had so much shit after it that you going back to this, it sounds primitive to Ian. I get it. But to me, being at the moment, it just sticks to my soul that my whole life will go on loving the little screams and all that shit this guy's doing. I love it. I just love that originality. But also, you throw in Satan and the love for Satan. I'm in 100%. And Threshold.
And then songs about metal too, like thrash and
Yeah,
metal forces. Like that's another Exodus like type of thing where metal command and then striking. It's just very a lot of like common things. You're either singing about Satan, about metal, and it's so super old school feeling to it all. That would be the one thing I could see someone new who doesn't know this shit. At least they
yeah.
can appreciate how old school sounding it is.
No, I get it. I get it why Ian doesn't understand that, because he wasn't there. Ian was there for Master of Puppets, but there's a load fan that doesn't understand Master of Puppets. I think
Hey, leave my son out of this.
there you go. That's right. Done. Yeah, this song fucking owns. I love Thrash Till Death, and what Ian said earlier about Flame of the Antichrist ending the album, that would have been awesome. It would have been awesome. But I love this ending song as well. I would think Flame of the Antichrist and Thrash Till Death are the two perfect enders. Maybe Flame of the Antichrist would be a little better to end it, but Thrash Till Death is a good ending to a great metallic assault.
Well, I will get into that in my review because while I said that Flame would be a great way to end it, there's nothing wrong with this one ending it too, and I like that it is like the shortest song on the album. A lot of long songs on this one, but this is the shortest one, like 4 something. And I like the simplicity of it is awesome. I mean, it's just metal through and through. There's no fat to trim on this fucking song. And it kicks ass. So in that aspect, it is like kind of cool because you have so many epics, so many 6-minute songs on this album. It's only 7 tracks, and then you end with the shortest track, and it's like, no meat on the bone on this one. But like I said, the flip side, the other one's more epic. So either one works. But I just, it's funny because, I try to listen to everything, but I hear bits and pieces when everybody's doing the reviews of the tracks. And you guys were talking about Creator. And I don't know if this is what the kids call a hot take or not. And this is an idea I have for a live episode for us to do, like heavy metal hot takes, stuff that people consider, controversial opinions. But let me know what you guys think about this, because you were talking about Creator. I like Terrible Certainty better than Pleasures to Kill. How do you guys feel about that?
To me, they're very close. I would give it a Pleasure to Kill, but they're pretty close. Terrible Certainty is a damn fine album.
What do you think, Ralph?
I love both those albums, and I think Terrible Certainty is when they really get their sound together. Like they got somebody producing them. They sound tighter.
That's what I
crisper has a crisper sound. I think the vocals are a little sharper. It's so close. The songs are very even. There's something special about Pleasure to Kill for me, though. It's like that was the first one I got, and I had the older kids in my neighborhood. They bought it on cassette so they could bring it to a party and just freak everybody out at some high school party because they never heard anything. These guys were like kind of like metalheads, but they like nothing like thrash metal, you know. So they bought it as like a goof, and the next day they're like, "Yo, we were gonna just throw this in the garbage. You want it?" And it was Pleasure to Kill on cassette. I still have the original cassette, but I went out and got it on vinyl, and it's something special about that album. So that's a really hard one, but I couldn't like disagree either way if you picked one of those two. But I really like the next two after that too. I you know,
Well,
the first like five albums I think are
To me,
fucking classic.
to me, it's kind of like saying, well, I like Ride the Lightning more than Master of Puppets. They're extremely close to me.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Anyone?
see, I'm kind of weird like that. That's a timeline thing for me because Terrible Certainty was my first Creator album. Pleasure to Kill had already come out. I didn't know anything about that, and I remember seeing all the ads for Terrible Certainty, and I just thought like the album cover looked so fucking like, yeah. So it's the first one I heard, and then when I went back and listened to Pleasure to Kill, it was so raw. I was like, I like Terrible Certainty better. But in hindsight, everybody's like, oh, Pleasure to Kill, Pleasure to Kill, Pleasure to Kill.
I've seen them on Terrible Certainty too. The Terrible Certainty was my first tour, so I think
Yeah.
that made a big difference to me too.
Endless,
We want to like it first.
Endless Pain is even dirtier than.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely,
That's my favorite one.
definitely. All right. Well,
It seems a little sloppier. Yeah.
this has been a very metal fucking episode, and I know like the turnout for this is going to be minuscule, but that's okay, man, because I enjoy talking about. I would rather do fucking 20 episodes like this than one episode about fucking Kiss. So I'm super happy. I'm super happy, Ralphus, that you're here with us. But
I'm
yeah,
glad that I had a reason to go back and listen to Onslaught. You know, I listened to 3 albums today that who knows when the
there
next
you
time I would
go.
have put on an Onslaught. So I'm glad I had a reason.
I'm going to listen to this after this show.
Awesome. Well, it is that time to go into pick of the week. Is that your pick of the week, or you want to do a random?
Yeah, I always like doing randoms.
All right. Well, go to the right.
Go to the right.
Go to the right. Up high. No. I'm sorry. No, right where. Go down low. Right there.
Right here.
Right there. Stop. That's it. That's the one. That's the one.
Gentle Giant interview. Extremely strange band that, it's one of those things that, I got to be in the mood to listen to this band. And I'm in the mood a lot. I get in the mood a lot. This is a band that broke up, I don't know, in the early 80s, 80, 81. I didn't know
Yeah.
nothing about this band until somebody called Jacob Smith started donating for me to do Gentle Giant albums. That guy ended up buying me every single Gentle Giant, every one. And this is this is one of their better ones. I like Interview a lot, but it's stuff that I'm not really a prog guy. And this is prog, but it's different than any other prog band because they're prog, but extreme, like Frank Zappa. Imagine if Frank Zappa was prog. And
Yeah.
with less crazy instruments that Frank used, like xylophone and shit. Just it's like Frank Zappa prog kind of weirdness. And this is a damn fine album. Interview by Gentle Giant. That's my pick of the week.
Well, I love that. I mean, I don't know that album, but I love the way you got into Gentle Giant. Just by a suggestion, and it reminds me of like how I got you into the Smithereens.
Yeah.
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 Which is one of those. It's like, hey, and I love when people turn me on to shit because I'm not. It's harder at my age to get into new shit, but it's not impossible. And this album is a prime example. I love, when somebody can turn me on to something that I've missed for years. And every time I see you doing a Gentle Giant episode on your channel, you're always excited about it. You're positive about it, and I think that's killer. That somebody that you've turned on to stuff turns you on to shit. So,
but it's weird too.
That's awesome.
It's weird too because this is not music I would normally listen to.
Right. But you were very receptive. I mean, I remember like the first Gentle Giant. I mean, you've been receptive to it. You know, you didn't turn your back on it. You're like, oh, I don't know this. You were like a sponge to it, like a rock sponge.
It's so yeah, it's so out there. It's just too.
Yeah.
It's out there for the type of music I like. You know,
Yeah.
it's too out there. But this is like the only band in existence that's that out there that I can like. I'll give you an example. Primus. You know, I can't
Yeah.
get Primus, but they're out there. You know,
Right.
I can't get into music that's out there. But Gentle Giant, man, I'm right there.
Nice. Count Ralphus, what's your pick?
I forgot to pick one, but I would say the New Corner. I've been digging. I picked that up. Like, yeah,
I've heard
like
good things about it. I've heard real good things about it.
I gotta get it. I heard it. I heard it on YouTube, and it was awesome.
And what's
Yeah, it
funny
was hard
is
to get. When it first came out, it was sold out on Amazon. And then I went to Rock Fantasy, my local store, and they didn't have it. They sold out of it. But the next week I went back and he had it in. But it's kind of, I guess people, when you wait 36 years or 32 years or whatever it is, to put out an album, people jump on it when it first gets out there.
well, what's funny is like I was first turned on to that band late 90s, I would say 98. A friend of mine, when I moved to Florida, two bands he really tried to get me into was Corner and Sabat. And at the time I was just like, no, it was too raw, too fucking different. I didn't grow, like he knew these albums when they came out and I was like, no, I didn't get it. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, this shit's fucking awesome. And I'm still friends with this guy on Facebook and I saw he put a post, of the New Corner video, and I was so glad that he loved it, and I heard it. I thought it kicked ass. I saw Will Carroll said he was really excited about it too. He's like, oh, it's not too often I get excited about new shit. So I think it's great Corners coming back and doing shit. And cool pick, man. Awesome. All right. Well, my pick is a band. While I was listening to this, I was trying to think like, what other bands does this remind me of, or what time frame and shit like that? And something it reminded me of, even though it doesn't necessarily sound the same, but the same era, is Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love me some Hallows Eve. I've loved Hallows Eve ever since 1987 in a movie theater with my dad seeing River's Edge, and they played Lethal Tendencies.
Hell yeah.
And I was like,
one of the greatest
ooh.
riffs of all time.
Oh, and the vocals and everything, and
That's off. Death and Insanity. That album.
yeah,
Death and Insanity. Look, I gotta show you this, man. This is a must-have for any Hallows Eve fan.
oh, the compilation one, yeah,
The box. I have them all on. I have all 3 vinyls,
yeah.
and this has everything and live stuff. I did a cover of Speed Freak that you can hear on YouTube. And one time, me and my 2 friends drove 5 hours to go see them, only to find out they canceled.
Oh man. Well, they're a band like a lot of people. If you don't know Hallows Eve, interesting fucking history. They're from Atlanta, Georgia, and they had this dude. He played guitar on the first album, Skull Crusher or Skull Killer or something like that. Anyway, he left after the first album, and then in 1990, he was the victim of a robbery and got his fucking eye shot out.
Ooh.
Yeah, he survived getting shot in the fucking face, but lost his eye. And then in the late 90s, he revived. He only played on the first Hallows Eve. He left because he was more into black metal. And then the band broke up in the late 80s, early 90s. He revived it in the late 90s and took the band out on the road. The bus driver fell asleep while they were driving, got into a wreck that killed, I believe, 4 people and injured 12. and he ended up in a fucking wheelchair, just like the dude from Possessed and shit. You know, like, so the guy's got one eye, he's in a fucking wheelchair. You know, it's like, poor fucking bastard, you know. But no, Hallows Eve, I really like him, man. And I was like, you know, the one I was picking for my pick of the week was Death and Insanity. Initially was my pick of the week, but then as I'm listening to that one, I go back and I listen to fucking Tales of Terror. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know which one, you know, because Tales of Terror is definitely like, you know, like heavier and grimier. And I love that about it, you know, but Death and Insanity, like I said, has lethal fucking tendencies, you know, and suicide and all that shit, you know. I'm like, oh, I didn't know which to pick, so I'm picking both. But I will say this. I've been picking these weird albums lately for us to review. And I know it's Ralph's turn to pick what we're going to review next. But some upcoming ones I would like to pick is Hallows Eve, Death and Insanity.
This is my Tales of Terror.
Yeah, Tales of Terror.
I gotta say something about Hallows Eve. They're such a hugely important band to me. Every time we do any kind of show where it's most underrated bands, or bands that should have made it but for some reason didn't really make it, they're always like the top of my list. So I seen Hallows Eve on Death and Insanity tour. I still have a vintage tour shirt from that show, and when well, I couldn't see before everything went black on your guy's screen for me. But Ralph, were you holding up the little box set with the 3 CDs and the DVD?
Yeah.
So that DVD on there, they have a show. It says Live at the Grunge Club in Middletown. If you look at it, that show is my first show I ever mosh at. That's in a little warehouse in Middletown, right around the corner from Rock Fantasy. They a couple months earlier, Carnivore and Whiplash were supposed to play up at the same warehouse. The Carnivore couldn't make it because Pete Steele supposedly couldn't get out of work. He worked for the state or whatever, the park department. But Whiplash played, and it was like Power and Pain album was out, you know, and we just fucking loved it. But I was a little kid, and we just watched this whole place like just erupt in this mosh pit. We were just like fascinated. It was the first time really watching moshing, you know. So for the next 2 months, we practice moshing every time we get together as kids. We're behind the convenience store, we're moshing. We're doing chicken skanking. We're doing all the moves we see. My one friend would do epileptic fits on the ground. It was like this weird, like punk kind of moshing thing that we were doing, but we were skanking. We were doing all these different moves. When that Hallows Eve show came, we did not stop moshing the entire song. I mean, the entire set. We just like, I never stopped to like watch the band. It was just nonstop. We knew every song and we just went around in that circle. The horrible thing about that DVD is they never show the crowd. That fucking camera's like right on the band. And we're just this big giant mosh pit behind them going nuts the whole time. Then there's a second show on that thing where they're playing the Chance in Poughkeepsie. And I believe it was them and Fate's Warning. And we get to the Chance, and at the time they had a thing where you had to have ID just to prove that you were 16. But for some reason, we went with 6 of us. The 3 youngest had ID, and the 3 oldest, I think I was 18. It was Monument Tour by Hallows Eve. So that show is on that DVD too, but I didn't get into it. And I had a ticket, and that's how big of pricks they were back then. Even though we had tickets, they still denied us to let us in because we didn't have an ID saying we were 16 when I was 18. And so I ended up hanging outside. We ended up going around the corner and we bought whippets instead with all the shirt money we were going to buy. And our 3 friends went in, so we had to stay in the parking lot the whole time. We couldn't just turn around and leave. We had 3 of us got in, so they got in, so we had to hang out in the parking lot. And we were hanging out with these skinheads. They got kicked out of the show for moshing and stuff, and we just all ended up partying out there the whole time. But it's so weird that both of those shows are on that box. I have the box set, and I have all of them on vinyl, and I fucking love Hallows Eve. One of the most important.
What do you guys think about Monument though, compared to the first 2?
No,
I love it. I love it.
Monument. I love the other 2 more, but like I said, I covered Speed Freak. I love the title track. I love their cover of Sheer Heart Attack. I loved Rock Gut. That's a badass
Yeah,
song.
rock. It's fucking awesome.
Arm my gun.
You know what it is? Is I listened to the first two albums so much as a kid that I didn't listen to Monument as much. So when I was starting to go back, it was kind of cool going to Monument because it felt like the freshest of the three. But I would have to go with the first one as my favorite, only by a hair over the second one. But they're both better. Yeah, I got them all three of them on vinyl. I even
Nice.
rebought. I even rebought the first two for the re-releases because they came with full-size posters, and I don't even hang the posters up. Like I bought them just because they came with those posters. I was like, oh, I gotta get them. It's worth it just for the poster that's in them. But one day, hopefully, I'll frame them and put them up.
Did you guys ever listen to the ones that came out in the, like late '90s, early 2000s?
No.
Yeah, I got this one that's horrible. It's fucking
Yeah.
garbage.
Oh, is that the one that's got the bass player and Skull dude came back? Yeah, that
Yeah.
one sucks. It's the only one without the classic dude singing. It's not
Yeah.
good. Yep,
Right
that's
here.
the one. Yeah, yeah, that one's not good.
Evil never dies.
Yeah, but the
I
one
got
after
really
that,
excited when I seen this. I ordered it. I ordered it without knowing exactly what I was like getting. I knew like Tommy Stewart, I think, was still part of it. I just like, oh, mine's number 462 out of 500. So there was only
yeah,
500 of these made on vinyl.
yeah, that's 500 too many. But the one,
Yeah, I listened to it like
the
twice.
one after that, the original singer comes back, and it's better, but it's not as good as the first three. But I mean, to me, Monument, I like it, but it's nowhere near the first two. And like I said, man, I go back and forth. Like, I picked Death and Insanity as my pick of the week, but man, then I was like, oh, I want to listen to Tales of Terror, and then I was like, man, Tales of Terror. It's fucking kick ass, man. That's a
Plunging
good
the
metal.
Megadeth.
Plunging
Plunging the
to
Megadeth.
Yeah,
Plunging to Megadeth's my favorite.
It was so heavy back then.
They,
It
but
was
they
like
spell but they spell Megadeth wrong. They put an A in it.
yeah.
all right. Well, hey, Ralphus, like I said, this is one I want to review in the future. When we do Hallows Eve, will you please come back on the show?
Oh, Death. Sure. Hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I would
Yeah.
like to do. Those are my next two picks, Ralphs, for episodes. I like to do Hallows Eve, and I'd like to do a Smithereens album. So totally different spectrum.
I got a couple of those too.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's awesome. But I mean, you get the next pick for the next episode because I've been kind of picking too many here.
I'm gonna show you what I got, and you pick which Smithereens album we should do.
All right.
Show you what I got. I only got two.
That's the one I want to do.
And I have
Yes.
this.
I love them both, but no, the first one.
Want to do this one?
Yeah.
Which has my favorite Smithereens song, and I won't tell you what it is. Till
Nice. Yeah. I don't want to know till we do it.
my favorite Smithereens song's on here.
No, I love 11. 11's great, but I like everything before 11. I like better.
I got to tell you this too. When you turned me on to the Smithereens, I fell in love with that Beatles thing they did.
Yeah.
I put on my iPod, and every time it comes on, I got to take it on. I don't really like them now, except for "Don't Bother Me." I think is better than the Beatles. That's it. The rest of them, I don't think they're that good. But their original stuff's awesome. You know.
Yeah.
So you did get me into them with an album I no longer like, but I like this shit. So you still got me into them. You know?
Awesome. Well, if you've enjoyed this very metal fucking episode we did, come back next week. I don't know what the fuck we're doing. I'm gonna let Ralph take the wheels next week.
And Smithereens.
Okay, Smithereens we'll do next week. Sounds good to me. I'll take it. Smithereens, especially for you.
Yeah,
Fucking ain't right.
yeah, we'll get just as many views as this one.
Yeah, exactly. 5.
Fuck it.
But that's 5 more than what the fuck Mark Zone
look,
Taylor?
man, we get when our episodes do bad. It's hundreds of views though. I still,
Yeah.
it's awesome. We got, man, there's people, I won't name names, that have been doing it for like a decade that doesn't even get half as much as we get. You know? And,
Yeah. What's Mark Allen Taylor's podcast?
yeah,
Freeform. Freeform.
plug for Freeform. But my thing is, dude, if it's, which you know it's going to be more than 100. But
Fuck yeah.
but even if it's 100, it's 100 people checking it out.
Oh, I know. And what's funny is I saw somebody like complaining on Facebook, not complaining, but trying to make fun of like our episodes, or like, oh, they're doing half of what they were doing before. But the thing is, we not only do, the podcast, but we do the YouTube version now. So if you add up both of those, we're still doing what we were doing before. It's just split because some people like the video, some people like the audio. So you, motherfucker,
And I got to give a shout out. There's one guy, he's left a couple comments saying he'll listen to Podbeam and then he'll come watch this because he likes listening to the songs I had.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mark Allen Taylor. I appreciate you.
I'm telling you, Mark Alden Taylor, get a restraining order on Ian. He's infatuated with you.
I am. But I'm also infatuated with Count Ralphus. Brother, thank you so much for joining us tonight, man. I appreciate it. You added a lot to the show, man, a lot of the history, and you are welcome anytime here, brother.
And people loved Ralphus on the last episode.
Oh, yeah. No, he's great. He adds a lot of fucking knowledge. You got a lot of passion, dude. And I mean, that's the most important, dude. You got the history, you got the passion, and you're just good people, man. So thank you for joining us today, brother.
Right on. All right.
All right.
Sign us out. I got to take a piss.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, come next week when we talk about a band that has nothing to do with metal, but everything to do with awesomeness. And that's next week on the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast.
Smack 'em a gob. Fuck Tom Morello.
All right. Thank you guys, man. Great episode, man. A lot of fun.
Oops, wait.
All right, man. See you the next time.
I still haven't stopped this.